needed to find a career in broadcasting. While in class, I worked one-on-one with real professionals in the television and radio industry. Job placement helped me find the perfect internship where I had real, on-the-job training. No other school offers a program as exciting and educational as this. My name is Mandy, and Illinois Media School helped me achieve my career in broadcasting.
I could have said it better myself. This is Jonathan Hood, instructor at the Illinois Media School, formerly Illinois Center for Broadcasting. There's so many reasons for you to consider Illinois Media School. You can go if you don't like the college that you go to, you don't like the major, or maybe you just want a fresh start for someplace new. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports to learn more. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
You're listening to ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 11 a.m., I am Sidney Brown with your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on careers in broadcasting, please go to beonair.com. Let's start with the NBA as the Bulls drop another one at home to the Indiana Pacers, 105-87. Victor Oladipo led all scorers with 25 points, while Bobby Portis led Chicago with 20 points and 11 rebounds. Next game is at San Antonio tonight at 7:30. Before the game, the NBA announced that the 2020 All-Star Game will come to the United Center. This will be the first time the Chicago has hosted the All-Star Game since 1988. Other winners from the Hardwood last night were Detroit, Boston, Milwaukee, Orlando, Miami, and Brooklyn. To the NFL, the Bears at 3-5 will host the Green Bay Packers on the Lakefront tomorrow at noon. Danny Trevathan is listed as questionable with a calf injury. The Bears are 5.5-point favorites. To the NHL, the Blackhawks will travel to Raleigh, North Carolina to face the Carolina Hurricanes tonight at 6 p.m. Not those Hurricanes. It's the Carolina Hurricanes. It's about the ice hockey. The Hawks are currently 7-2 on the year. Other winners from the ice last night were Ottawa from Sweden, Florida, Toronto, Washington, Carolina, Dallas, and Las Vegas. And to college football, these are the games that we're looking forward to locally today. Indiana and Illinois will kick off in a couple of minutes. Purdue will visit number 25 Northwestern, quote-unquote Chicago's big team tonight at 6. And number 3 Notre Dame Fighting Irish will travel to South Beach, Florida to face number 7 Miami Hurricanes at 7 o'clock. This update is also brought to you by IIT Men's Basketball. The season opener will be November 17th when they take on Gustavus Adolphus at 3 p.m. For tickets, visit IllinoisTechAthletics.com. I'm Sidney Brown. You're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life. And now it's time for the D.N. Davis Show.
You don't have to go to school today, because today's Saturday. Huh? It's Saturday! Oh, it's Saturday! Hi, honey, and a hot chocolate.
Saturday's the day to have fun.
Don't talk, just listen. He didn't even really address it. He was like, man, listen, the boy, he's going away now. His career's done. Yeah, head down there. He was old enough. Seemed like he was ready. Seems like you're ready. His face just said you're ready. Oh,
The Dean Davis Show with your host, Damon Spurl.
Am I the only one who remember how great Scottie Pippen was as a player?
And Kenneth Davis.
it's like that in this world. It's nasty outside. Gotta get my life straight.
Every Saturday afternoon from 11 to 2.
We're going to come back on the side of this break. Brian Bickle, former Blackhawk, is going to join us to talk.
That's at 120.
That's at 120?
Mm-hmm. We can do picks.
I'm really all over the place today.
You are. Leave that Bible alone. Just shut your ass up.
Right.
You coming over to my side.
Talk.
Only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Yes, it is Saturday, and it is time for the D.N. Davis Show on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. That number is 773-966-2494. We're going to bounce all around the sports world and bring you a little levity from the D and Davis crew. Up first at 12:20 from we're going to have ND reporter Lamont Pope join us to talk about the Fighting Irish versus those dirted down, nasty guys from the U with those phony, funky chains.
Turnover chain. Here it goes.
Later on, we're going to go into a little debate between LeBron and, of course, MJ. And the author of that article, Tim Bathrow from 670 Score, is going to join us to help break it down for us. And last but not least, bumping those beats down in Soldier Field, we're going to have DJ J. Illa. He's going to join us to talk about his career and how it is spinning for the Bears. I am Kenneth Davis, and of course, the next voice you hear is the Chocolate One himself. His name is
D. I'm about to say the D because I'm talking about. You know what? That's I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that. The D.
The D? Nah, that's kind of.
It is kind of nasty.
But you know what? Wait, real quick.
What D?
On top of that, last but not least, I didn't say.
Oh no.
And of course, we're gonna have guest host with us, Montez Allen.
Hey, there you go.
What up, though?
What's going on?
Forget
about Montez. Hey, hit us up on the line 773-966-2494. 773-966-2494. You can also watch us on Facebook.com/D and Davis Show. It's also being broadcast on Facebook's Illinois Media School and ChicagolandSportsRadio.com Facebook page as well. So we're like everywhere. We're everywhere. You can get us in so many different varieties.
I hear people, we gotta talk. I hear people saying they prefer the Facebook Live, but I had a discussion with a former intern of ours.
Okay.
He's kind of upset about something.
Oh Lord.
He was a little upset. Said we should have hit him up during the Dodgers World Series since he's out there.
Oh,
I said, you know what? You're right. I said, it didn't. That's on us. I said, you're right.
Yeah, no.
Well, he wants to shop us around out in that area. Okay. So you ready to move out west? Because I know you like to be Chicago.
Can I go?
Of course.
I want to go.
I'm always down to leave.
I say we go right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's
He's
go right
always
now.
like, let's stay in the cold. I'm like, let's
No.
go to the palm tree. He's like, hold on, wait a minute.
And then I could be close to my Lakers.
I don't
have no problem with the Lakers.
I could be close to my Lakers, you know.
I've never been a hater of the Lakers.
No, I mean,
But you know,
Just a hater of Kobe, that's all.
No. Let me finish that on the show. Hold up.
Please, we'll get into this Kobe hate.
Follow us on Twitter at D and Davis Show. Once again, it's at D and Davis Show. Also, our Instagram game is popping right now. We're on Instagram at D and Davis Show as well. So check us out. Throw the comments in there. I threw up a question to a poll. I text y'all. Is the Score, the Fugees album, The Score, a top 10 to 20 hip hop album of all time? I actually had a poll on
Easily
Twitter.
top 20.
Okay. Well, I had to fight for it a few times.
You had to fight for
I had to fight for it a few times. Yeah.
What was it like? Old heads?
No.
Who would you fight?
Everybody amongst our 08.
And they couldn't make top 20 because I don't think people
top 20. Oh, he's like maybe. I heard a few maybes. Maybe. But take it out the poll. Take out the poll on Twitter at D and Davis Show. You know what I'm saying? That's out there too. We love politics. We love
you
hip
hadn't
hop.
heard
Everything
anything like that, bro.
No, it hasn't. No, we haven't.
That was like, what the hell is this? True. Go ahead.
I'm on Twitter at Demons1, DEMONZE1. Ken is on Twitter at That's Davis, executive producers of the show. Always in the studio with us, rocking the Walter Payton.
Yeah, waving at Packers fans.
I don't know.
They show us love, so we show them love right back. We don't give a damn who you are.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know
about that one. This is rivalry.
Adrian blocked a satanic person that was following us, and we're like, why did you do that?
Packer fans,
open to everybody.
Packer fans, no.
Satan wrestling? Come on.
Sydney Brown's in the studio with the executive producer on the show, and also to Cal Means, editorial director of WeAreReaderRadio.com, and Tony Gill, who gave us that great opening. That's from The Flip. So everybody out there listening, we also do a podcast called The Flip. I'm sure you heard us talk about it. You can download it, and also this show on iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn app, Google Music, and Stitcher. But yeah, Tony Gill gave us a great opening to that. Yeah.
The Rebel Rouser himself.
The Rebel Rouser himself. Yeah.
I had to go on him so hard yesterday.
Why?
Because he was talking that jet.
Oh, about MJ and LeBron?
I had to.
Are we getting into this later in the show? Because I want to go in.
Yeah.
I pulled that pistol out. I start pistol whipping. First, I did it nasty because I unloaded the clip. It's dirty when you unload the clip. The disrespect is coming. But then I even had to be like, dude, you not like when you're debating somebody and they come back in like 2 sentences, you know they've quit. It's like you quit. Just own up to it.
He threw it out there, and you know what I'm saying?
Because it's disrespect.
I know.
It's disrespect to compare. It's no debate.
Oh, but you're a LeBron hater.
No, I'm not a LeBron hater.
You are a serious LeBron hater. I look at you on
not
social
a
media.
LeBron hater.
I just stopped you.
I'm not a LeBron hater.
And I'm like, I'm not even messing.
I've said on multiple occasions that LeBron James is an all-time great. He's a top 10 of all time. I just said that he's not better than Kobe and Mike. That's all I said. I'm not a LeBron hater.
I'm close to you. Michael Jordan, I think, is the best of all time.
Right.
That's my personal opinion. I do have a tight race for number 2 between Kobe and LeBron. I do.
And that's fair.
I do. I have a tight race because I think a lot of people overshadow how great of a basketball player Kobe Bryant is. Oh my God! His
last real murderer, actually.
Man, Michael Jordan said it himself. He's cursed with the same thing I'm cursed with.
Yes.
I want to win. That competitiveness, he's cursed the same way I'm cursed. He didn't say that about LeBron James. And Michael Jordan even came out and said, if I'm taking either one of them, I'm going with Kobe Bryant.
You're going to take his son, of course.
Exactly. So it's a very close race between number 2. And I always say I think LeBron James, what Kobe Bryant is to Michael Jordan, LeBron James is to Magic Johnson.
Yes.
I think their games are so similar, but I think LeBron James is the super duper Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying as far as being a playmaker.
It's just he encompasses everything.
He's LeBron times 2. I mean, he's Magic Johnson times 10.
I think it's Magic. I've always said, and I'm going along with you with bringing Magic into it, but I've always said he's a combination of older players of Magic and Dominique Wilkins. That to me, was the from athleticism, and then being a distributor. Right. That was the kind of the comp.
That's a good merge.
But he's his own player.
Right.
He is.
He's his own player.
And they play 2 different styles of game too.
Do you see a little bit of Oscar Robertson in LeBron?
Of course.
That's what I'm trying to say. He's 2 different players.
Except he doesn't have that humongous ass that Oscar has. Oscar got off the bus, his ass had 3 assists already.
So, hey, man, so we usually go over this. We bring him in my says, you know what I'm saying? How was your week? I mean, how was your week? I'm sorry.
It's been cold. That's the thing.
That's true.
You know what? Real quick, let me ask you guys this. So yesterday, if anybody doesn't know, in the city, we had a snowfall. Outside of the city, people was like, it's sunny out here.
Really?
Yeah, people in the southern burbs just sitting here, and the young man at the desk was like, in the end, it was nice. But people in the southern burbs, they came into work, and they were like, I didn't know it was this cold or whatever.
Okay.
But one thing that I noticed was when I was turning down blocks, it looked as if Prince Hakeem had just come through because all this green foliage was on the ground. It was like a bunch, like bushels of it.
You see any rose petals?
No, not rose petals, of course. It was a ghetto Prince.
Okay.
And I'm like, so the thing that I'm sitting there and in my mind trying to deduce what happened, I'm like, well, clearly we went from the warmer weather to this cold so fast that the foliage, all of it didn't even change. It didn't turn red or yellow. Right. Some of it was still green and it just fell off the trees. But if you look around, it looks like just bushels and bushels all over the place. I mean, it's pretty, but it's freezing. But my week,
it's cold.
My week has been average. Montez, how's your week been?
My week has been good. Been covering a whole bunch of stories in the Black community that I'm proud of. So working for UBM, I've just been really busy. Been working on my second book. So
already on number 2.
I'm 75 pages in.
Wow. Okay.
So what's the book? The first book was kind of like Get Your Mind Right, Positivity.
Yeah.
Is it a continuation or what angle are you taking?
I love writing. I love encouraging people. So the name of this book I released not too long ago is called Stay in the Game. So it's a metaphor with sports. So when life gets rough or you're trying to pursue your dreams and it's not working as fast, stay in the game. Don't give up. Don't sit on the bench. Don't tell the coach to take you out. You need to stay in the game so you can prevail and persevere and break through. So if you decide to sit on the bench, then you're never going to be successful. You just going to watch your life fly by. You're going to see people passing you by. But if you stay in the game, something can happen.
There you go.
Where'd you do career day at recently?
I was at Beasley Academy.
You was in my son's school? No, he doesn't go there, you bastard. What grade was it?
It was a Manhood 101 conference.
Okay.
So it was like young Black youth come in and learn from positive male role models. They meet us and learn from us, and we talk about our careers. We talk about college. It just felt good to. I mean, I'm only 29, but it felt good to go back to talk to the ages 15 to 18 because they're asking me questions. How's college? How's this? How's that?
I saw the college.
And I'm like, college is amazing. It's just good to instill that stuff in the youth because I feel like a lot of youth are lost nowadays, and they need somebody. I'm not saying I'm a positive role model. I'm this amazing guy.
Why are you hating on yourself being positive?
I'm just saying I'm not. I'm a regular dude, but I'm just trying to tell them like that there are other options than the streets because I'm from the streets too.
Did you have one of like what is that? Is that a Louis or Gucci bag that you always have yourself? Did you drop that on them like, look at this, kiddo?
No, not this time. Not this time.
Hold my bag, you little bastard.
Not this time. When I started speaking in high school, I have a little thing I want to do so I can relate to the students. I want to come there kind of fancy so they can say, like, who is this dude? Like, he's career oriented, but he dresses like me. Like, this is interesting. So, no, I didn't drop the Louis bag on him, but I was fresh to death, though.
All right.
All I needed was a casket. That's all I needed was a casket.
Nice. My week, it's been pretty cool. I think the highlight of the week was for me, you know, so I'm a big Crit fan, so that double album is, ooh, it's nice. You listen to it yet?
You're welcome.
Like,
oh, he put you on Big Crit?
No.
Yes, I did put you. I put you on.
Sean, my boy Sean.
No,
That's the first time I heard Big Crit was in the Lexus, man.
No, it was not.
When did you put me up on
We
Big
can
Crit?
ask Medi. I put you up to Big Crit.
Wow, even back when Medi was here?
Yes, I put you up to Big Crit. You used to own up to it. Now you're flipping. I put you up. I put you.
Did.
No, we did not. I put you up to Big Crit.
Well, it doesn't matter.
You ran with it. But I gave you forever and a day. And I gave you.
Let me shout out to Big Crit, man. That album, his new double album, is outstanding. So that was my highlight.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna come on back. We're gonna you want to get into some little preview of the Bears and Green Bay Packers? What you want to talk about?
There's not much to talk about.
Well, I'm about to say.
No, it's not.
Yeah, Brett Hundley sucks. Sorry, we'll be right back on the side of this break.
Come on back, Ian Davis Show.
Jonathan Hood from ESPN Radio. You're listening to the Ian Davis Show, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
What's up, fellas? Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
Not many people can say that they love their career, but I certainly do. I like helping the next generation of broadcasters discover their passion. How do you discover yours? Learn how to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. Get hands-on training on air and behind the scenes. You'll have a chance to get internships at radio or TV stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your career in 1 year. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So why waste another minute in a career that you don't love? Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. Go to the website right now. beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
UFC is headed back to NYC for UFC 217, 3 title fights. Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw, which means we are
hanging with the boys.
And it's the return of George St. Pierre versus Michael Bisping. George is
I'm not impressed by your performance.
While Michael lays out a game plan.
And he's gonna be frozen like this, like a lizard. That doesn't want to move. Okay, and I will pounce. Pow.
Join us the next 2 weeks, UFC 217 preview, Thursday nights, 6 to 9 p.m., ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
What's up, everybody? This is Raphael Young, host of the Raphael Young Show on Chicagoland Sports Radio. Unfortunately, I'm disappointed that the Cubs will not be repeated as World Series champions, but at least I do have the Bears, Bulls, and Blackhawks to talk about during the regular season so far. Tune in every Monday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on the Raphael Young Show on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where it is not just sports, it's a way of life.
Find out how the Chicago Bears did against the Drew Brees and New Orleans Saints on Sunday, and find out what they will do this week to get ready for the Green Bay Packers on November 12th. Now that the Cubs made some changes around their coaching staffs, what other moves will they be making during this offseason? What kind of entertainment will the Bulls give us this week? Can Lauri Markkanen break another rookie record? Find out here on World Cup of Sports on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
What's up, everybody? This is Lewis from ZRL. Listen to us every Wednesday from 4 to 7 on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. We are live giving you the hottest takes on everything sports. Listen to me, Ryan, and Zoe, as Zoe gives you the craziest tales from the Red Line, our In the News segment, weekly interviews, and so much more. We're live from 4 to 7 on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and the TuneIn app. See you there.
Hello. I want winners.
CSR Fantasy Football Live.
I want people that want to win.
The Withers Justin Adams.
Ryan B. Ski. Patrick Delaney Buckets. Joseph Gregory.
Get your popcorn ready. We're just here to answer all your questions, give you all the news that you will need to make the right moves for your team. We're just here to help you win a championship, dog.
You don't play to just play it. You play to win the game.
Tune in to CSR Fantasy Football Live.
Tuesday, 6 to 7.
On ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Ooh, yeah.
How's it going? My name is Edgar Ibarra, and I'm very grateful for all the knowledge I received at the Illinois Media School. My 15-year career in radio has been a dream come true. I'm a radio DJ, I'm on the air, and I get to be a program director for 2 radio stations in Wisconsin. My dream became a reality with the Illinois Media School. Illinois Media School is a great school with great teachers and former students now working in the industry today on the radio stations you listen to and on the TV stations you watch every day. Illinois Media School, check it out. For more details, beonair.com.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This is Jonathan Hood, instructor at the Illinois Media School, formerly Illinois Center for Broadcasting. So many reasons for you to consider Illinois Media School: financial aid for those who qualify, real-world hands-on experience, internships, and so much more. Don't just take my word for it. Set up a tour at one of the 2 Chicagoland locations. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports to learn more. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
D and David Show, Chicagoland Sports Radio.com, 773-966-2494. As I said before, we're on Twitter at D and David Show. Once again, it's at D and David Show on Twitter and Instagram. And sitting in with us is Montez Allen. Follow Montez on Twitter at Montez Allen 313. 313. Oh, hold on real quick. Did you hear that new Beyonce and Eminem song?
I haven't. I saw somebody tweet it out on Twitter yesterday, and I was so busy. Is it fire?
It's a very inspirational.
I heard her verse on there. I didn't hear his lyrics yet.
She just has the hook or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I heard that.
It seems like Eminem is evolving into this inspirational rapper now.
Yeah.
Do you see the cipher at the BET Awards?
Yeah.
You see the cipher? He was going in on Donald Trump.
Right.
But I haven't heard this Eminem before. I heard the crazy Eminem. Mm-hmm. But
he's older with a beard. So
he's definitely older and mature. And it's almost like the Gucci Mane or the Jay-Z's when he came out with 444. You know, the stuff that Jay-Z was spitting, it was like, okay, Jay-Z.
I think
theatric rap.
I think he might be going down that way. I think that's if I didn't know he was even dropping anything new.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody threw something on Twitter like, oh man, Taylor Swift with her anti-Kanye album with Eminem and Beyonce dropping a hot new track. I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. It's like, okay.
Eminem is he top 5 of all time?
I don't know about top 5.
Top 10, yes.
Top 10, yes.
Okay.
He's top 10.
I mean, it's all.
I think also okay.
It's all subjective.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I think
hip hop hour would be in nature.
If we put it into this kind of category, I mean, clearly he's one of the best battle rappers ever.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We're talking about freestyle off the dome. He's probably like in round one or two. Like, you know,
between him and Cassidy or something like that.
I was gonna say Carlos one, but Cassidy was up there too. He is pretty good.
Listen, when we're talking about Eminem, do me a favor.
Don't make a Cassidy. You said battle rapper.
I'm just saying. Not the Cassidy. Oh my goodness. I don't even want to talk.
You don't want to talk about the hustler.
Hip hop hour there.
He just killed it.
Just killed it.
He brought Cassidy into the discussion.
Cassidy is one of the best battle rappers of all time.
Man, who about Craig G? He in the top 3 too, right? We know what? No Craig G?
I'm sipping my water.
Oh, how you gonna disrespect him?
If anybody, Ryan Fest is up there. Ryan Fest actually beat Eminem in the battle. You know, it's all subjective. But no, check out the song. Yeah,
okay, I got you. I will not bring up Cassidy ever again.
Cassidy.
The hustler.
He got Cassidy bumping right now for him to break Cassidy.
Hey, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler.
Oh man. So listen, it's rivalry week here in the NFL, at least here in the Chicago area. The Green Bay Packers from up north have come travel south to Chicago. And yeah, man, gonna be out on the lakefront Sunday, noon kickoff.
What a quarterback matchup that is. Ooh. Oh, I can't wait. 2 superstars.
2 future superstars.
All of
Mitchell Trubisky versus Brett Hundley.
My issue, so you know what? And it would have been it was an interesting thing. I wanted to holler at a Packers person today. And the question I had was, what happened to Brett Hundley? Usually the system in Green Bay, that backup quarterback, I'm not saying he's going to grow to be a big starter, but at least he's adequate enough to step in at different times. So when you look at what Ted Thompson and what Mike McCarthy have done and how, in all fairness, when we're talking about a team that always builds itself through the draft, and now you see that without Aaron Rodgers, your team is nothing. you basically haven't been doing a good job building your team through the draft. Even if we take Brett Hundley out of it, that defense has been bad really for years.
Yeah,
I know it's a little bit better this year than it was the year before, but it's been bad for like 4 to 5 years now. You haven't improved that defense. You really haven't done enough on that offense as far as bringing in new recruits. It's time to start looking at those guys. Because without that quarterback, you guys
and they still haven't addressed the running game.
True. But at least they've done a decent patchwork thing at times. But you're right. But let me ask you this with the running game. Is it a situation that now that we know or defenses know that they have to run, that it's easier to key in on when you can't put 8 in the box when Aaron Rodgers is there too?
I mean, it's a lot easier when you don't have your star quarterback.
I mean, Aaron Jones, even from Ty Montgomery went out, Aaron Jones came in and did a really good job. They actually basically took the job from Ty Montgomery. So, I mean, they've always been sneaky. Edgar Bennett, be able to pull a guy back there and him be decent. But right now, when I'm looking at that team in its totality and then take the issue with Martellus Bennett,
yeah, man, that's something.
That is something.
I mean, he leaves. Everybody doesn't know the Green Bay Packers released Martellus Bennett because of a shoulder injury, right? But they
torn labrum supposedly.
Right. He was saying that he needed surgery, but this is obviously after the great Aaron Rodgers was out for the season.
Oh man, I got to go.
So he played. I need surgery, and then he get put on waivers. They get released. He get put on waivers, and New England Patriots come calling, knocking at his door. He's like, I think I can get through this.
You know what?
Now all the players are coming out, past Packers and present Packers, including Aaron Rodgers. Like, nah, dude, our doctor is one of the best doctors. Like, don't throw him up under the bus. So
Teddy Bruschi, even though a former Patriot, was like that really wasn't a clean cut as far as Martellus going from Green Bay there.
What do you mean by not a clean cut?
Just saying that it doesn't look well on Martellus. What he was saying.
But you know what, man? Let me tell you something. This is my 2 cents. So one thing about the NFL, it is a cutthroat business. If they want to let you go and they want to release you for anything and everything, case in point, if you injured or you're Colin Kaepernick and you get whiteballed out the NFL, they will do whatever they want to do. Anything. So if you got a chance to be like, peace out on me, I'm going somewhere else, do it.
And I'm glad you
money
said that.
And get out of it.
I'm glad you said it because I think Aaron Rodgers should consider leaving. I really do. That team without him, no weapons, not addressing defense, not addressing the running back issues. I think he should leave and try to win another ring somewhere.
Is it kind of hard to leave a team that you've won a championship with? Because he is that franchise now.
He is the franchise, but like you said, it's a business. It is a business. Sometimes you have to look. You already won a ring there. You brought them a ring.
Been in 2 Super Bowls, right? Yeah.
You brought them one, so you can't knock that. I'm like, look, unless they start addressing the issues at hand, because it's been like this for years.
Yeah.
And it's not getting better. So unless you start addressing it, I would really think about and consider leaving. I would. I know Cheesehead.
That's what I was going to say.
They would.
God,
it might burn his jersey.
He's usurped Brett Favre because Brett Favre went to the Vikings. Of course, they traded him to the Jets. But no, when Brett Favre went to the Vikings, Packer base, some of them were like, forget you. Like, that's how they feel about the Vikings. And it kind of elevated Aaron Rodgers from them being on a eye to eye to like, we're with Aaron. We got this new boy anyway. Look what he can do with that. He's not turning over the ball like that. So I would wonder if that would play in the mind of Aaron Rodgers. Look, there are teams out there. I know there's one team in particular we could list at least 3 to 4 agent quarterbacks and be like, if that team had a quarterback, think about what they do, and that's the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
So I mean, and that's
with that defense, you put Aaron Rodgers at the helm.
Think about it.
Yes.
Unless you want. I guess it is possible. Dean Davis Show, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
What's his contract? What's his contract?
966-249. I don't know.
Because I wonder when I think maybe he has a couple years left on there. I would wonder if he would force his way out.
And you know what?
I think he should.
Just to play devil's advocate to my point, although this is about injury, Peyton Manning left the Colts and he won a championship there and went to Denver, won another championship. But that was about injuries. Like, okay, we think your career's over. The Packers obviously, and Aaron Rodgers obviously doesn't think his career is over. So.
Aaron Rodgers will become a free agent following the 2019 season.
Oh, pretty close.
So that's less than 2 years from now.
That also means he's probably going to get a new contract.
How old is he? Is he 32 maybe?
Yeah,
32, 33?
I can't see him no older.
He's about 32.
He seems
maybe 30 because we feel like those 3 years he was behind Favre.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And he has had some major injuries too.
He has,
but he been able to come back pretty fast.
33.
Wherever he goes, he needs a great offensive line. Yeah. Even though he can use his legs, I feel like as you get older, all it takes is one hit. All it takes is one hit, period. But as you get older, you have to be smarter with your body, like Floyd Mayweather. So I say, I would really, and KG, I remember KG saying that he stayed at Minnesota a little bit too long. Now, what makes Aaron Rodgers so unique is he already won a ring. He brought one there. So they will hate him when they leave. That's just how fans are. But sometimes you just got to do what's best for you in order to bolster your future Hall of Fame status. So I feel like he should consider leaving Green Bay.
I'm not knocking it. I mean,
and especially you went to Denver.
Would you do that if you were a player and you played for a Detroit team? Would you leave them?
It'd be tough. It's tough, man. And especially I'm from Detroit.
How about
I'm from Detroit too.
How about
It'd be tough.
How about this? If San Francisco ever get their stuff together, can you go back out to San Fran? Because he from San Fran?
You got Jimmy Garoppolo out there now.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
No. Just Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm joking.
I hope you are.
No, I don't think. I mean, because think about it. It would probably take 2 years for them to look like a bona fide. And I'm saying in the plus. I'm saying everything works out as far as that.
But NFL is one of the few sports that you can go
flip. I don't think. I mean, them choosing Alex Smith. And I know this isn't the same regime over him. I wouldn't do it. Right now, we're going to go to Sidney Brown for our Chicagoland Sports Update.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
Real quick, shout out to Ernie Scadden, whose voice is right there for his service in the military.
Right.
At 11:30, I am Sidney Brown with your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com headlines brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on careers in broadcasting, please go to BeOnAir.com. To the NBA, the Bulls will travel to San Antonio to play the Spurs tonight at 7:30. Before last night's game, the NBA announced that the 2020 All-Star Game will come to Chicago. To the NFL, the Bears will host the Green Bay Packers on Lakefront tomorrow at noon. To the NHL, the Blackhawks will travel to Raleigh, North Carolina to face the Carolina Hurricanes tonight at 6. And to college football, one score to report for local interest. Midway through the first quarter, Indiana and Illinois are scoreless. This update is also brought to you by IIT Men's Basketball. The season opener will be November 17th, when they take out Gustavus Adolphus at 3 p.m. For tickets, visit IllinoisTechAthletics.com. I'm Sidney Brown. You're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Blackity. I just wanted to do that since we were listening to old rappers going through. Hey, look, Dean Davis Show sitting in. Montez Allen, guest hosting with us. Wait, how many jobs do you have now? I saw you in the Prue.
In the what?
In production.
Oh, yeah, I work at WBBM too.
What do you do there?
I'm an assistant producer.
Okay.
I'm grinding, man. I just like to grind.
Do it while you can.
I always say you got to do things today that others won't do tomorrow. So in order to be successful, I just try to grind and work on stuff and see whatever works.
Yeah, that's good.
Grinding. So I'm young, I'm only 21. 20, right. I'm 29, ladies. I'm 29.
So what are your thoughts now when we close out with what's going on tomorrow before we go to the U versus?
Man, listen, it's going to be probably one of the worst games you're going to see in a long time.
It's not bad. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad game.
You know what? I won't say that because
what? Why not?
The Bears still have a strong running game.
They do.
And I hopefully, and I know Dowell Loggins wants to give Trubisky a little bit more. Hopefully, to open up play action.
This is the game to let you.
That'll be the thing. Hopefully, to open up play action.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you won't get 25 passes, but out of 18, hopefully.
Wait a minute, you don't think you'll give him 25 passes?
I think they're gonna run the hell out of that damn ball.
See, this is my thing.
You gotta let him loose, man.
I'm very curious to think, like, okay, are they thinking right now, like, you know what? Maybe we can make a run for it.
They shouldn't.
I know, but why would you not? Well,
A run for what exactly?
Their jobs. How about that?
But wait, there's
how about that? Maybe not playoffs, but maybe their job.
But I think there's two different trains of thought here. You have Ryan Pace, who really want to take his rookie QB along slowly. And I think if you're doing that, your plan isn't really to bring back John Fox. And the last thing I think you would want to do, and I'm not to say,
I agree with that.
Because he still has a year on his contract. So that's not to say that you, like, after this shit, he's gone. You could be like, all right, we'll figure it out next year.
Right.
People saying he can't be a lame dog. He could be a lame dog.
Yeah. I mean, but you're saying when we was on CLTV, 67 wins, although everybody kind of poo-poos when I said that.
Difference in his job.
I'm very curious, as you said before, he has a year left on this deal. They go 6-7. I'm not surprised he'll be back here next year.
I'm not, but
that's growth.
I wouldn't be surprised, but you can't have, and I know the talent levels have been diminished, and in part by John Fox, his mentality when we talked about Martellus Bennett, You can bring up
Brandon
Alshon
Marshall.
Jeffries,
Alshon
Brandon Marshall.
Jeffries.
And I get it if Brandon got to the point, but his thought that you have to be a robot football player instead of being someone that can think and play football.
I know.
So part of those offensive deficiencies are on John Fox. But I'm saying this, I wouldn't mind. I don't care if John Fox comes back. I would prefer he didn't. I didn't want him to be hired. But he's had too many bad seasons.
I agree with you.
A below average season to be like, well, you know what? We're on the way.
I'm kind of curious about that. But my own thing is, going back to Trubisky, I think this would be a game where you kind of let him loose.
You let him loose.
You let him
I don't
loose
understand it.
Yeah.
You have him starting over Mike Glennon for a reason. You let this guy loose.
To your point,
I
though.
just want him to throw picks.
I mean,
I didn't say all that.
But
you gotta let him be a rookie and learn.
Also let him develop that.
No. That's true. That's very true. But go back to your point, though, of them just running the ball. Jordan Howard is playing phenomenal.
He is.
He's playing phenomenal right now.
So phenomenal that anybody was trying to make a
of
trade for Tariq Cohen for a plus receiver, you would know that they're cheating in fantasy football. That's how good, right? D?
Look how passionate
Are
he
you
is.
not
He's
saying
so
that, D?
passionate.
Are you not? Do you agree with that? No. Did you try to trade Tariq Cohen?
Yes, I did.
Oh, cheater. All right, on the side of this break, Lamont Pope is going to join us to talk about the U versus the Saints with the Irish fighting the University of Miami. On the other side of this break, this is the D and Davis Show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jack Silverstein, a.k.a. Reed Jack, sports writer in Chicago, and you are listening to the D and Davis Show. Get it?
Out of all the schools I applied to, Illinois Media School was the first to personally guide me through the financial aid process. Not only did the school offer classes in my field, but hands-on experience with all of today's modern broadcasting equipment. Illinois Media School gave me all the tools I needed to find a career in broadcasting. While in class, I worked one-on-one with real professionals in the television and radio industry. Job placement helped me find the perfect internship where I had real, on-the-job training. No other school offers a program as exciting and educational as this. My name is Mandy, and Illinois Media School helped me achieve my career in broadcasting.
I could have said it better myself. This is Jonathan Hood, instructor at the Illinois Media School, formerly Illinois Center for Broadcasting. There's so many reasons for you to consider Illinois Media School. You can go if you don't like the college that you go to, you don't like the major, or maybe you just want a fresh start for someplace new. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports and learn more. It's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Find out how the Chicago Bears did against the Drew Brees and New Orleans Saints on Sunday, and find out what they will do this week to get ready for the Green Bay Packers on November 12th. Now that the Cubs made some changes around their coaching staffs, what other moves will they be making during this offseason? What kind of entertainment will the Bulls give us this week? Can Lauri Markkanen break another rookie record? Find out here on World Cup of Sports on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Hold up, hold up, hold up!
The Art of the Science. CSR Boxing with the realist Justin Adams and Chris Boogie.
No!
2 hours of the realest of news, analysis, reviews. Also, history lessons with hashtag OTDIV, Understand Boxing, and hashtag SRCC, Senior Citizen Tour.
Please, God, if you get us out of this one, I'll never grab a booty again, I swear.
Art of the Science with the realest of Boogie, Mondays 5 to 7 on StarLineSportsRadio.com.
Can you dig it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, Chicago fans, the baseball season is winding down and the leaves of fall have begun to change. So you know what that means. It's all Bulls and Bears and some Blackhawks until the spring. Will Mitchell Trubisky continue to develop as a starting NFL quarterback? Do the Bulls have any more punches packed for the rest of the year? Can the Blackhawks recreate the success of seasons past? Find out every Thursday from 9 to 10 on Late Nights with Ben on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and on the TuneIn Radio app.
Ever since Coach Fox put the work in, everything seemed to be coming together for our beloved Bears.
Interception! Eddie Jackson! Another defensive highlight! Touchdown Bears!
And as far as the Bulls go, the same thing can be said about them out west.
Whether you apologize to Nico, I feel like I let my fans, the Bulls organization, everybody in my team is that.
Hey, this is a guy named Jeff, 1/3 of the Nightcap. You can check us out every Monday from 9 to 10 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Sean Land with the most action-packed 2 hours on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fight League Report. You ever wonder where the UFC recruits fighters? The NCAA of Mixed Martial Arts is LFA. Check out Legacy Fight Alliance on Access TV on Fridays and stay tuned to the Fight League Report as we interview up-and-coming fighters for the most interviews, predictions, and news and coverage of LFA. Stay tuned to the Fight League Report every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
As the Chicago Cubs look to continue to retool in the offseason, we don't be acting a fool here.
You too have pulled some pranks in your day, but this one takes the cake.
Join me, Charles Bragg, Bridgie, Sid the Kid, Ralph Hill, and Ryan Bogavetsky every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Deck. Also, see how the Chicago Bears continue to heat up?
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Then we'll also swing into NBA and some NHL with the Chicago Bulls and Chicago Blackhawks every Saturday on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
Not many people can say that they love their career, but I certainly do. I like helping the next generation of broadcasters discover their passion. How do you discover yours? Learn how to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. Get hands-on training on air and behind the scenes. You'll have a chance to get internships at radio or TV stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your career in 1 year. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So why waste another minute in a career that you don't love? Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. Go to the website right now. beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
D and Davis Show here on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's time for us to talk about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus those Hurricanes of Miami. And to help us with that, we're going to have Lamont Pope to join us to break down the ND perspective. How you doing this morning, Lamont?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing real good. We're doing real good. Look, outside of Tyrell Willingham getting fired really fast, I've always been a big ND guy growing up here in Chicago. But I have to say, like, coming from last year, I didn't expect this team to be where it's at right now. Looking back at last year and coming now, was the expectation that Notre Dame would be already back in it so soon?
No, you're exactly right. I mean, I think the big storyline entering the season was, will Brian Kelly be able to survive, right? There were some questions coming off a 4-8 season. They needed to bounce on back. I remember doing the season preview story, and the final question was, Notre Dame has a good season if, and then I had to fill in the blank, and I put, well, if they were able to, double it and go 8-4. I thought that would really just be, the sign of the team kind of growing, because you have a new offensive coordinator, you have a new defensive coordinator, you have a new special teams coach. So with all that newness, and then you have a new starting quarterback, a guy who only played in 2 games as a backup. So with all that newness around you, the expectations of this team being able to do what they've done, not at all. It's been a little bit of a surprise for sure.
Now, is this just a situation where recruiting has borne fruit, or is it something that Brian Kelly actually did or changed some type of philosophy that he had been using in the past?
Well, Brian definitely changed up the way that he even approached situations. He showed up at like the 5 a.m. breakfasts. So he's been much more actively involved with the players, and the players have responded well from that standpoint. But you can't discredit or deny like the additions that they've made. The defense, particularly like the defensive coordinator, Mike Elko. Last year, this team, they only created 14 turnovers. Already this season, they have 19. They've been able to get in the backfield as far as tackles for loss more often rate. And so the only game that they've really kind of slipped up was last week against Wake Forest. And I think that was a little bit of a weird situation given that Elko came from Wake Forest. And so one of the linebackers, Miles Morgan, was saying how they would line up for a play last week, and Wake Forest would be like, this is what's going to happen. So they knew the play. They knew what Notre Dame was running defensively before Notre Dame even fully lined it up. So I think that was a little bit of a one-off thing, and I think they'll get back to the way they've been dominating on the defensive side this week against Miami.
And sticking with Elko and that D, I think one thing that jumps out is how well that defensive backfield is playing compared to in the past. Is it just his philosophy, or is it some standout kids back there that have really taken over that defensive backfield?
You mentioned local product. Julian Love, he's been all over the place. 3 interceptions, returned 2 to the house, 14 pass breakups, which is an all-time single-season Notre Dame record. So he stepped on up. Earlier this year, he had someone like Sean Crawford, who's been a turnover machine as well. He had a big play against Michigan State where he knocked the ball out of Scott's hand as he was entering the end zone, and so that was a big momentum changer in that game as well. So the kids have stepped on up, but it's a credit to the development of those guys in the secondary. But it's sort of been, I don't want to say a simplification of things, but as opposed to last year. But I think it is a little bit more of the guys. Now they're just sort of focused on doing their own single job instead of saying, I have to concentrate on this plus this plus that. And so from that standpoint, they've simplified a few things, and it's led to some of the success there for the secondary. And you can also, you can't. You also have to give credit to the guys up front as well. It starts obviously with those guys on the defensive line. They played a whole lot better. There were a lot of question marks about them entering the year, and those guys have stepped on up. I remember at one point during the season, Kelly said he'd give those guys an A+ with the way they played. And so they've been getting the pressure up front, and obviously it's helped out with the secondary guys as well.
Dean Davis Show, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. On the line with us right now is Lamont Pope. You can follow Lamont Pope on Twitter at Lamont Pope. Lamont, this is D right here. As the resident Miami Hurricane fan here, I don't know what's wrong with Kenny. He's a big Alabama fan. I don't understand it. But just coming from like a fan's perspective, how big is this to have Notre Dame and Miami on top again? I mean, we haven't seen this in quite a long time. I think since maybe the early 2000s when it was kind of really rolling. Miami was running off those championships back then. But just talk from a fan's perspective how big this game is going to be tonight.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's been a fun week, just covering it, just all the hype and just all the stories that we've been able to run this week leading on up to the game. Just to have these type of these programs. When I was growing on up, I remember the 88 game, the 90 game, things of that nature. Just watch those games on television, and so to see both these programs back in the top 10. And to have this game have such a big meaning. I remember last year's game. Let's kind of look back to last year's game, because that week I did all the stories leading up for the Tribune, and that week as well. And the big thing about that was that 30 for 30 film. They did a screening here in the city, and they had a bunch of the old Notre Dame players come on back, and I talked to a few of them, and so like that the hype for that film was more than the actual game itself, which ended up being a pretty good game. Notre Dame, I think, had lost 4 out of 5 during that game, and Miami had lost 3 in a row, and so there just wasn't that buzz and that shine. And even though the game ended up being 30-27, the Notre Dame win, this game, obviously, it's just 1 year. I mean, the buzz is back, the hype is back. You've got 2 great defenses, and so no, I mean, from a fan's perspective and from just an overall college football perspective, it's great to have both these programs have success and for this game to have this type of meaning.
Now, also, let's get down on the field. Let's talk about the running games for both of these teams. Notre Dame running game right now is probably, if not the best, with their young stud coming out the backfield. I'm blanking on his name right now. Josh Adams. Josh Adams. Yeah. Josh Adams is rolling right now. He's looking really good. And same thing with Miami.
Yeah, we can start with Josh. I mean, obviously, he's going to be, he's been getting some Heisman hype. Last week, he was only limited to 5 carries and 22 yards because of, at first it sounded a little odd. They were saying, well, he was a little banged up. He'd sort of been run down the week leading on into the game. We had a chance to talk to Josh on Wednesday, and he said that he had a bunch of tests, a bunch of papers due, and so he started on that Friday getting some headaches. He did take a little bit of a hit trying to block for a play for Brandon Wimbush in the first quarter. He didn't return after that, and so it was just that sort of combination. But he said that he was cleared and was ready to get back on the game at halftime. They just, they're already up, I think 31-6 at that point, and so they're like just going to be very cautious for him. And it's good to have him at full strength and ready to go. Obviously for this week against Miami. But I mean, overall the year that he's had, you also have to give credit to the guys up front. I mean, that offensive line, you have Mike McGlinchey and Quentin Nelson are going to be first-round draft picks in this upcoming draft. Center Sam Musper's done a really nice job. Alex Fars is someone that Brian Kelly talked up from the start of spring camp. And so just that whole offensive line as a unit has done a great job. And, even with Josh out of the game, they still were able to gain over 300 yards rushing for the 7th time this season. So that running game is gone. But yeah, Josh is definitely the catalyst for sure. He's in the Heisman running. And part of that's just his ability to break, so he can get that 3 yard, and then he can bust loose for a 60-yarder. I think he has 7 carries, or 7 rushes of at least 60 yards this season. So he has that ability. He's got that big play ability for sure. But obviously it doesn't end with just Josh, because Brandon Wimbush, the quarterback, he also has the ability to hurt teams with his legs. He had over 100 rushing yards last week against Wake Forest as well. And so yeah, they have that ability to hurt you in the run game for sure. And then you take what you mentioned, Miami. Yeah, I thought that once Walton went out, that they would have to change up things, and that they wouldn't be as effective running the football. But they still have had some, Homer has over 600 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns, and Rozier is someone as well. He can do some damage with his legs. So both these teams have shown the ability to have some success on the ground.
Look, let's get back to the offensive line real quick, because being here in Chicago, we're looking for a tackle. Can you give me probably the round that I know the center is excellent, but as far as the tackles, which one is better? Preferably a left tackle, and what round or where do you expect him probably to go in the upcoming draft if they're coming out?
Yeah. Mike McGlinchey, he's left tackle, and he was a preseason All-American, and he's played really. He's going to be a first-round draft pick for sure. So yeah, he's someone. He had a rough game against Georgia. He gave up a late sack, or he got beat for a late sack. That was essentially the end of the ball game there. But he's bounced on back, and he's played phenomenal the entire season, other than that Georgia game. But yeah, so he's definitely going to be a first-round draft pick. And he's sort of been he was a guy that could have come out last year, but decided to return and just continue to improve as a football player, and he's done that as well. So Mike McGlinchey at left tackle, definitely someone that's going to be a high first-round draft pick. And then the left guard, Quentin Nelson, he's another first-round draft pick. He's someone who, there's this play. I'm trying to describe it the best I can. A guy from Georgia came from the other side, and Nelson was able to pick him up at the last second and was able to block him, and that saved Wimbush from getting a sack. It was just this remarkable play, because there was no way of really knowing how Nelson even saw the guy coming. But he was able to get there, not only to see the guy or feel the guy, I guess, and get to the other side, but to also be able to do a great block like that. And that was a play that guys at Notre Dame are still buzzing about. And like I said, that was week 2 against Georgia. So those are their 2 top offensive linemen, and both those guys will be going in the first round for sure.
Ian Davis on the line. We have Lamont Pope. You can find his writing in the LC News Sun Sport and also Chicago Sports. Let me ask you this. I got 2 more questions for you. And one, it gets back to last season, as you were talking about the left tackle could have came out. What in the world happened with DeShone Kizer? Because I was rooting for him. And I know that Brian Kelly said he probably should stay in school, but looking at him right now, it's like, come on, DeShone, you can do better than this. I know he's young, but what are the thoughts on DeShone Kizer? And also, what are the thoughts on if he would have stayed in school? Would this team be better, or is it a situation where him leaving may have helped them to grow?
That's a good question. I think part of the DeShone Kizer situation is, it is the Cleveland Browns. Their history with quarterbacks, or their track record with quarterbacks, obviously is not stellar, and so it's a tough situation that he finds himself on in. And as a young quarterback, when you're starting one week and you're benched the next, you're back as a starter again. We're going to take on that. So your confidence can get hurt a little bit as well. And so I think it's one of those situations where if you're going to go with the young guy, obviously, we were talking about the Bears a minute ago. They waited until they felt, all right, now it's Mitch's time, and now we're going to go ahead and have him be the man. It wasn't a situation where they were like, all right, we're going to go with Mitch. No, we're going to pull him again, and Glennon, and then back from Mitch again. So I think that's a little bit of the confidence I think can go a long way with a young quarterback. I always think it's always smart if you got a young guy and if you're going to play him. Let him learn. Let him take the lumps if it's going to be rough, and then kind of grow with him as well. So I think that's a little bit of a situation with the Browns. As far as him, if he would have stayed, I don't know. That's a really good question because the team did have its ups and downs. Obviously they only won 4 games last season. I think the fact that they've made this commitment to running the ball. That's the one thing. That's another thing that Brian goes, right? The talent here starts with the guys up front, and let's utilize those guys. I remember a couple weeks ago against NC State, a really good defense. They were at that time. They had the ability to get in the backfield, make some tackles for loss, things of that nature. And early on in that game, NC State made some really good plays, had a couple sacks, and so it was that sort of that feeling that this is one of those situations where Notre Dame got behind early. And in years past, I've been covering this team in some form since the 2013 season. In years past, that's a game that they don't win because just sort of like the way that the game sort of unfolded early on. But what happened was that offensive line just took over. They just were able to they wore down NC State, and Notre Dame just was able to run away with that game. So I think what would have happened? I don't know. Would they have had a situation where they're going to still depend on the pass, or would they have made this commitment to the run that they have and they've been so successful with? That's a really good question. And from Notre Dame's perspective, they've been able to kind of go on and have success running the football.
All right, Lamont, this is my last one before D jumps in. Let me ask you this. Brian Kelly, probably 4 seasons ago, was a guy that was on the radar to perhaps go to the pros, and he's had some down years. So let's say that he continues his success right now. Would he leave because he would be hot again, or would he stay and ride it out at such a heritage school as Notre Dame?
Well, that's another really good question. Obviously, last year, as we started off with him, there was some heat at the end of the season. I remember, even during the middle of the season, last season, athletic director Jack Swarbrick had to came out with the vote of confidence for him. And so, off of 4 and 8 seasons, to show this bounce back and to make the necessary changes, that just shows that a coach that was willing to make the adjustments that were necessary to kind of get the program back to where it wanted to. Interesting fact: this is his 100. This will be his 100th game tonight. His 100th game as Notre Dame's coach, and so I thought that was like a little bit of an interesting nugget from that perspective that he's been able to survive all. Because Notre Dame head coaching job. That is one of the high pressure coaching jobs. Not only in college football, but in all the sports. And for him to kind of navigate his way through that, that says an awful lot as well. Would he go? I'm sure NFL teams might show some interest. With the way that he's been able to bounce on back. But on the other hand, he's been able to rebuild on the fly this program on up, and they have him back in the national championship picture. So I think that's something that. With some of these guys still so young, it might be something you might want to ride for a few more years as well.
Hey, Lamont, this is D. We'll get you out of here on these two quick ones. One, do you think this game is going to have implications for the playoffs coming up soon? And also, got to get your prediction. Who you got winning?
Oh yeah, This game, it's a playoff elimination game, right? If Notre Dame has said since the Georgia loss, every single week has been a playoff game for them. And they've been able to have success week in and week out. And so they know that they have to win it out to have the opportunity. Obviously, there's so many more factors that are involved. So many other teams that are involved as well. But they know that they're going to be in the running for sure. And if they go 11-1, I think it's going to be very difficult for the college football playoff committee to leave Notre Dame out. I think that they would be one of the 4 teams in the playoffs if they're able to go 11-1. And then from Miami's perspective as well. Miami, if they win this game, I think that they'll if they don't jump in the top 4, they'll be fifth, and they'll also have that opportunity with that ACC championship game possibly against Clemson to have that opportunity. If Miami's able to run the table, they're going to be one of those 4 teams that's going to be in there as well because they would have beaten Notre Dame, they would have beaten Virginia Tech, they would have had the opportunity against Clemson as well. And this game, high stakes for sure. Opportunity, the winner of this game definitely in the playoff race, and so that just adds to the fun of this game as well. as far as a prediction, I keep going back and forth. Miami, with their ability to turn the ball over, 20 turnovers this season. Gotta love the turnover chain and all the hype that brings to it. Bring back some old school Miami from that standpoint as well. But Notre Dame also has the ability to force turnovers as well. I mean, they've created 19 turnovers themselves, and so all week long I've been telling folks that I think this game's going to come down to whichever team can create more turnovers is going to be the team to win. Notre Dame has had success when they do create turnovers to capitalize on them. I think it's 108 to 10 that they've outscored opponents for points off of turnovers. So I like that fact. I like that figure for Notre Dame, and I think that might be a little bit of a difference maker. Miami, that win against Virginia Tech was just very impressive. But the previous weeks, they were in some really tight games. The Florida State games were very tight. The Georgia Tech game, watched the majority of that one. That was a very tight game. And so, I just think I think it's going to be another really close game. It's going to come down to the wire. But I think Notre Dame's going to make one more play on defense, and they're going to make that late play, get that late turnover. That's going to be the difference maker. And so I have Notre Dame winning by a touchdown.
All right, Ron May, thank you so much. Great talking to you. Got to have you on later on down the show.
And real quick, so what's I'll say it. What's your turnover chain? You guys got like the priest collar or something? We definitely appreciate you joining us. Go ahead.
Someone asked if Notre Dame had someone had something. They mentioned something with something like a golden hammer or something like that. No, there's no real comparison right now to the turnover chain. That's something that they have to work on to see if they can get that sort of swag going on as well.
I doubt they had swag in Miami, dude.
Oh, hater. All right, Lamont, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Anytime.
No doubt. All right. And that was Lamont Pope. We'll be right back on the other side of this break. D and Davis Show.
Hey, this is Rich Campbell from the Chicago Tribune, and you're listening to the D and Davis Show.
The UFC is headed back to NYC for UFC 217 3-title fights. Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw, which means we are
hanging with the boys.
And it's the return of George St. Pierre versus Michael Bisping. George is
I'm not impressed by your performance.
While Michael lays out a game plan.
And he's going to be frozen like this, like a lizard that doesn't want to move. Okay? And I will pounce. Pow.
Join us the next 2 weeks, UFC 217 preview, Thursday nights, 6 to 9 p.m., ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
It's the students of the game with Dr. Justin Gregory and Dr. Chris Rout. Protect yourselves at all times.
What you think Bobby Porter should try to be an NBA power forward or somebody bodyguard?
Hey, man.
Look what I did to this man's face.
I'm hiring, bro. Like, I need it. I need those.
You don't need no bodyguard. Still young. I know your knees bad, but you could probably run fast if you get into it.
I mean, I can throw hands like that.
We know Bobby can.
Students of the game, Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
You're listening to ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Find out how the Chicago Bears did against the Drew Brees and New Orleans Saints on Sunday, and find out what they will do this week to get ready for the Green Bay Packers on November 12th. Now that the Cubs made some changes around their coaching staffs, what other moves will they be making during this offseason? What kind of entertainment will the Bulls give us this week? Can Lauri Markkanen break another rookie record? Find out here on World Cup of Sports on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 12:02, I am Sidney Burr with your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on careers in broadcasting, please go to beonair.com. To the NBA, the Bulls will travel to Texas to face the San Antonio Spurs tonight at 7:30. Before last night's loss to Indiana, the NBA announced that the 2020 All-Star Game will come to the United Center. This will be the first time Chicago has hosted the All-Star Game since 1988. To the NFL, the 3-5 Bears will host the Green Bay Packers on the lakefront tomorrow at noon. Danny Trevathan is listed as questionable with a calf injury. To the NHL, the Blackhawks will travel to Raleigh, North Carolina to face the Carolina Hurricanes. That's hockey. Tonight at 6 p.m., the Hawks are 7-2 on the year. That's my point. Into college football, here's one score to report locally. Second quarter now, 9:29 to be exact. Indiana and Illinois are scoreless. Here's the rest of the schedule for our local teams. Purdue will travel to Evanston to face number 25 Northwestern Wildcats at 6. And number 3, Notre Dame will travel to South Beach to face number 7, Miami Hurricanes tonight at 7. This update is also brought to you by IIT Men's Basketball. The season opener will be November 17th when they take on the Gustavus Adolphus at 3 p.m. For tickets, visit IllinoisTechAthletics.com. I'm Sidney Brown. You're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life. Now back to the Dean Davis Show.
Thank you all for being here. So it is my pleasure to announce that the 2020 All-Star Game will be coming here to Chicago, Illinois.
Dean Davis Show here on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. We definitely want to thank Lamont Pope for joining us. Great time there. Of course, that was NBA Commissioner Adam Silver saying that the NBA All-Star Game is coming back here. Of course, they announced it earlier this week or in the middle of the week, but they had the formal announcement yesterday. Look, real quick before we jump into that, because I was thinking about, I have the San Antonio love in my heart right now.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Okay. So I went and picked up the boy slightly early yesterday. Because he goes to the after school, and I want to get there before that. And, in a way, outside of some of the little stuff he does, I've been enjoying being a papa even more because, him singing the Outkast and even some De La and stuff. It's like, yeah, listen to my kid. He's getting a good foundation.
That's right.
So I said, you know what, Kenton, let's play a little Madden real quick. He's like, no, you want to play NBA Live? I said, no, let's play some Madden, right? So Kenton has an innate ability to throw the rock. I don't understand it. He's 8. He does. Look, I force turnover the ball more than he does, right? So, but yesterday I was on. Like, I was seeing it. See, he plays video games more than me. So I'm seeing it. I'm hitting it.
Who are you playing with?
I was going to choose the Panthers, actually.
Okay.
And he went, who did he get it? I can't remember who he got initially. No, he got the Giants because he wanted to play with Odell, right?
Okay.
So when I'm looking, then he went and grabbed the Panthers. He's like, they got to hire one. And I just took Seattle, right? Because I need someone to stop his passing game. So we're playing, and he's coming for me, right?
Okay.
But he starts talking trash, and he starts standing up and dancing.
Oh, I wonder where he got that from.
Not from me. I don't do that. I really I don't do that. So now I'm feeling a certain.
Check you out, old man.
I'm feeling a certain kind of way. All right, from the disrespect. I mean, dancing. Told me I'm going to beat you. Right, coming for me, right? Okay. So the game is I'm leading, he's leading, I'm leading, but I'm like he started doing punt stuff as far as not punting, right?
You going for it on fourth?
Yeah, but you can't go for it every time.
Hey, could you stop it? Were you stopping it?
Nah.
Hey, he can go for it then.
You saw the whole man.
Silence in here. Silence in here.
What? I'm going for it, Daddy.
So this is the thing. So I'm up, right? And I almost intercept at least 7 I'm like, it was several times where 2 defensive backs for Seattle were bobbling the ball between each other. They just would not pull the ball down, right?
Okay.
So anyway, I finally get an interception. He throws it in the end zone, and he thinks he's won. He's like, I told you I was going to win. I was like, you don't know. I intercepted that ball, right? So he's feeling all kind of way. I'm like, dude, what do you want to do? He's like, basically some more disrespect. Let's play 2K. I'm like, dude, this is your wheelhouse. You need to stay here, right?
Okay.
And he's like, nah, put 2K in.
Okay.
I said, dude, I'm about to whoop your ass. I forgot. He had Golden State. I took San Antonio.
Uh-oh.
I was beating that boy by like 40 by the time he was leaving to go to my mother's house. And I was like, should have stayed your ass in that. That's where you're good at, right? Because when I was talking then, I was just making up songs and stuff. Like, too disrespectful in here.
2K is I don't have a system, but whenever I play with OKC. Love OKC, love Russ, love PG-13, love Melo, and they're 4 and 6. That's another. They still figuring it out.
It's gonna take some time.
Passing teams in the league right now.
They run a lot of isolation plays. I know this is like a little off topic, but y'all probably gonna think I'm on drugs.
What's up?
Just maybe a little bit. I actually think OKC can beat Golden State in the playoffs, in the Western Conference Finals. I think by that time, if they start clicking, the only advantage I feel that Golden State has is the bench. Clearly better bench.
What about their defense?
Their defense. But I feel like in the playoffs, I feel like OKC might be lacking like Golden State does. but I still think they have a little pieces around them. Patrick Peterson, Steven Adams, Roberson, who's a liability on offense. I don't even know why he's in the NBA, but he's strictly defense.
He's strictly defense.
Strictly defense. So, and that
that
starting five, you got the big three, of course. Steven Adams, who's playing like one of the best centers in the league. He's playing great. And Roberson, I feel like they can go about 7 deep. Now, Golden State look like they can go about 8 deep. That's, to me, the only advantage. Some people might say Kevin Durant is an advantage over Carmelo. But I think when it comes to 5-on-5, when they match up, I truly believe OKC has the tools to beat them.
The one thing I will give OKC is their ability to rebound the ball.
Yes.
I think that's a win for them.
Including Melo. Melo has offensive rebound.
Yeah. Listen, I remember when Kobe Bryant was talking about when they was playing in the Olympics. It was like he said it was like guarding a bear, guarding a grizzly bear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's on the block. He's so big.
That was a decade ago.
It was a long time ago. But he can still move though.
It sounds like hold on. It sounds like some disrespect is about to come out of your mouth about Carmelo Anthony. I need to hear this.
He can still smooth. He can still move. I don't think it could be going.
Yeah, act like he's a bum.
No.
Oh, okay.
Even though the Knicks are playing better, that's not at all where
they are playing better.
I'm not even. I thought, and I know it's early as you said. I actually feel, and I won't say they can beat Golden State, but I'm with you. I think they would be probably my favorite. And the only problem really is that bench. If they had more players on the bench, because that's what GSW is going to run at you, they're going to be able to go 8-9 deep.
Yes.
But I'm expecting this girl. I need Melo, and I thought he was going to do this, to be Olympic Melo. Melo is doing too much ISO ass wiggle.
That team is
well, that's his game, and that's Paul George too. Those two together.
But you know what? I think how that team is built, and Russ has stepped back scoring to a certain degree,
which he has to.
But I think, and I know Paul George has talked about how fast Russ plays in the West Coast, and he's not used to that. And also, they both said that they're getting open shots because of Russ that they're not used to getting. I think out of the two players that came in the trades, PG, Paul George, and Carmelo, that Paul George being a guy that was kind of a facilitator too, even though he was an ISO guy, but he was a facilitator, he can kind of stay true to himself to a certain degree. But Melo, and I thought even going to Houston, when that trade was mentioned coming when he was in New York, I thought he knew he was going to have to be, out of either of those teams, a player to give up the most as far as playing the way that he had played in the NBA. I thought this, I'm like, look, I think Melo can play Olympic Melo. I'm not saying that at times you don't need him to be ISO, but he can't do it throughout the majority of the game like that. He's going to have to find a different way to not slow the ball down, and that's really going to help that team. If he doesn't do that, I don't think they have a good chance to beat OKC. I mean, to beat GSW.
All right, so, who we just talked about was all these All-Stars. And as you said before, to lead the opening of the segment, the NBA All-Star Game is going to be back here in Chicago since '88. I thought it was '86, but I had my years off.
No, it was '88.
It was '88. Yeah. No. I was thinking.
Yeah,
I was thinking '80s. I thought that was '87. I'm sorry, I was a year off. I thought that was '87.
No, he was into.
Yeah. Right. So, what y'all think?
I think that first of all, Jerry Reinsdorf in the past, I believe, did not want.
He said they had to make him, or he would never do it or something.
So my real quick, the trick is this: they're looking at this one, and I said this when we were texting about it. There's going to be, in some way, for season ticket holders, they're going to get an easier access to these tickets because that's part of the
reason why he didn't want to do it.
Like, since the Bulls are now rebuilding, and I think that the Chicago has changed. I think in the past, this is the third time probably the Bulls have rebuilt since the Jordan era. Perhaps. I think so. Elton Brand, and then when you can say again when they brought
Kirk Hinrich.
Thank you. Kirk Hinrich and Ben Gordon and Luol Deng. I think they're looking at this as a way to kind of bring some light back, and especially because Chicago fans are a tad bit more fickle. They used to be more like lemmings, but people are more like, look, I will not show up. And I'm not saying that people still won't go to United Center. They always have a great pool, but still it's something to keep attracting fans.
Right.
I mean, look, we've been wanting the Bulls to blow it up or rebuild. Hopefully a future Bulls player, maybe if it's, I'm not saying this, but Lauri Markkanen.
Zach Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, you a Lord?
Whoa, you ain't liking Lauri Markkanen.
All I said was, oh Lord.
Marvin Bagley or Michael Porter Jr.
Somebody, right.
Hopefully when
LeBron James' son.
Yeah.
Well, think about it like this: 3 years from now, it might be LeBron James' last All-Star game. It could possibly happen.
Lauri Markkanen, huh?
You got what Lauri Markkanen hate? How can you hate Lauri Markkanen?
I don't hate him. I need more. That's all I'm saying.
But no one's saying.
Look at the team. Look at what they have, and obviously,
he's looking good.
He's looking good. It's going to be another season or two. They're going to be able to see, like, okay, but hold on. You know,
Go ahead and spit your game about Lauri Markkanen.
Don't get him just yet. Hold on. But no, what's that? I mean, what's the possibility of that? Maybe that's LeBron James' last All-Star game.
That'd be sweet.
It's possible.
I mean, I was
could be like
that'd be his he'd been his 18th season.
Yeah, because he's in 15 now.
Yeah.
So it'll be 17.
It'll be 18.
He's better than Michael then, right?
Oh my God.
He must. I'm gonna do that also. He's better than Mike Jordan. Can Michael Jordan jump like LeBron James through the air with 4 people on him? No. Mike can only do it with 1. But no, it would be a great.
That'd be kind of cool.
When I saw the announcement, I'm like, Lord Jesus, please let me still be in Chicago.
You can come back.
You come back.
Yeah, we need to start saving right now. But the Mons told me something today. Like I might cover it.
Oh no, ain't no Mike.
I might be there to cover it. Yeah. If I be there to cover it, I'm shedding a tear.
Dude, it's gonna be everywhere. Listen, you probably now you have the Wintrust Arena down, not too far from us.
Right.
You could probably have the NBA skills and all that.
Yeah, that's gonna be the Fan Fest.
Fan Fest, McCormick Place, all that back over there. And then the game's gonna be here, and they use it's like a week, right? Because they get an extra week, not extra week off, but they get more time. They get more time off. Dude, Chicago is always around Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So you know it's going to be a bunch of booze and saying 1 night booze and maybe 2 night booze. It's going to be something, man. This is going to be huge.
I was listening to the radio yesterday and piggyback on Ken's point real quick about Ryan. So he didn't want the game here for a long time because of the situation with the season ticket holders. I was listening to somebody on the radio yesterday that the ones that are season ticket holders now and the ones that probably hop on for the next year or two is only going to be available. 2,000 or 3,000 of those people, they'll be bumped up to the 300 level because those lower level seats will be for corporate folks.
Totally.
Exactly.
And that's why you didn't want it for a long time.
All right, coming up next, we got Tim Baffo.
Tim Baffo.
Yeah, we're gonna get more into this LeBron James versus Michael Jordan debate. All right, Tim Baffo, 670 Score coming up next. Dean Davis Show, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
This is Brian. And this is Bobby from Alternative Facts Chicago.
You're listening to the Dean Davis Show.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
Not many people can say that they love their career, but I certainly do. I like helping the next generation of broadcasters discover their passion. How do you discover yours? Learn how to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. Get hands-on training on air and behind the scenes. You'll have a chance to get internships at radio or TV stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your career in 1 year. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So why waste another minute in a career that you don't love? Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. Go to the website right now. beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
The UFC is headed back to NYC for UFC 217 3-title fights. Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw, which means we are
hanging with the boys.
And it's the return of George St. Pierre versus Michael Bisping. George is
I'm not impressed by your performance.
While Michael lays out a game plan.
I need you to be frozen like this, like a lizard. Better than the move. Okay, and I will pounce. Pow.
Join us the next 2 weeks. UFC 217 preview. Thursday nights, 6 to 9 p.m. ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
What's up, everybody? This is Raphael Young, host of the Raphael Young Show on Chicagoland Sports Radio. Unfortunately, I'm disappointed that the Cubs will not be repeating as World Series champions, but at least I do have the Bears, Bulls, and Blackhawks to talk about during the regular season so far. Tune in every Monday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on the Raphael Young Show on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where we're not just hoods, it's a way of life.
Find out how the Chicago Bears did against the Drew Brees and New Orleans Saints on Sunday, and find out what they will do this week to get ready for the Green Bay Packers on November 12th. Now that the Cubs made some changes around their coaching staffs, what other moves will they be making during this offseason? What kind of entertainment will the Bulls give us this week? Can Lauri Markkanen break another rookie record? Find out here on World Cup of Sports on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
What's up, everybody? This is Lewis from ZRL. Listen to us every Wednesday from 4 to 7 on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. We are live giving you the hottest takes on everything sports. Listen to me, Ryan, and Zoe, as Zoe gives you the craziest tales from the Red Line, our In the News segment, weekly interviews, and so much more. We're live from 4 to 7 on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and the TuneIn app. See you there.
Hello. I want winners.
CSR Fantasy Football Live.
I want people that want to win.
You're with us, Justin Adams.
Ryan B. Ski. Patrick Delaney Buckets. Joseph Gregory.
Get your popcorn ready. We're just here to answer all your questions, give you all the news that you will need to make the right moves for your team. We're just here to help you win a championship, dog.
You don't play to just play it. You play to win the game.
Tune in to CSR Fantasy Football Live.
Tuesday, 6 to 7
on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Ooh, yeah.
With seasons of baseball, Halloween, and pumpkin spice in the rearview mirror, me and Matt Ward look forward to what we're thankful for. Like the Bulls. Well, Lloyd Markman. What about the Bears? Well, at least we got Mitch Trubisky.
On time to Zach Miller.
To the K-Trey Show every Monday night from 7 to 9 with Kevin Tregoning and Matt Ward, only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. That's 7 to 9 p.m. Monday nights.
Dean Davis Show here on Chicagoland Sports Radio 6.com. I'm sorry. We got
You all right?
We got Tim Buffo on the line.
I know, right?
We got to go deep into this. All right, Tim Buffo has written this great article. Actually, it is a great article on LeBron James versus Michael Jordan, and we definitely have to talk to him about it. How are you doing this afternoon, Tim?
I'm great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming back, man. Long time no here. So, look, it's a funny thing. One of our producers works down at 670, and he just started this debate on our text line.
Tony, yeah.
About Jordan versus LeBron. And reading your article, and it was well written, definitely. But, of course, I disagree with you. And I love LeBron James. I'm not the Jordan stan. I even love Kobe Bryant. I love great players. When I talk to a lot of people from Cleveland, and they talk to me about how they hated Jordan coming up, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of get that. But even though LeBron has beaten the crap out of the Bulls, I still love LeBron James. I think he's the greatest athlete I've ever seen with my two eyes. But as a basketball player, I think Michael Jordan is slightly greater than him. So let me ask you this question, because this came into our debate. When we talk about Michael Jordan and Kobe, we always talk about them being killers, but then we also talk about how LeBron affects the game all around. And even though I think that we're undercutting Kobe and Mike on their all-around game, I think we also don't implement that being a killer is also one of the points of an all-around game also. What do you think about that?
I agree with that to an extent, and I actually had this conversation in person with somebody yesterday too about how exactly the names you mentioned, Jordan and Kobe, having that sort of killer attitude, where LeBron not as much. And while I understand that that's something you would factor in when measuring, an individual basketball player, I counter that with something to think about, that if LeBron isn't considered the killer that those other two guys are, though, does LeBron, based on statistics and other things, is him making those guys around him better something that should be factored into measuring an individual player? And I think LeBron does that.
I agree. No, I agree. I would flip and say I think that, and I would say Mike more than Kobe, even though both of those two were bastards. I think they elevated players also. But this is another thing, too, in your article. And you mentioned how, and I agree that the NBA is a team sport, but all sports in general are mostly team sports, unless we're talking about boxing and individual sports like that. But I think the NBA, it gives you individualism at a high rate where you can see how one player can affect everything. Yes, it's a team sport, but I think if we're talking about championship teams of quality, then we start to look and fine-tune, comb through it with the fact that, hey, look what he did on this championship team and look what he did. Now, LeBron, I think, had the greatest final performance I've ever seen that first series against GSW. I grew up watching Mike. I've never seen. I don't understand why Iguodala got the MVP. I think LeBron should have gotten the MVP on a losing team. He was terrific until he got tired in that series. But basketball, and when Jordan was coming up, and you're old enough to know, a lot of people were saying when the league was about Magic and Bird that Jordan being a scorer could never have won a winning team because most people that led the league in scoring never had a winning team. So he started with the winning team, but then he took that and became a champion. And the question was, well, can he match those guys? Because that is something in basketball that we account titles. Now, I know we can say Robert Horry has this many titles, but I mean like the real ballers. We do add how many titles they have. And I do think that you can use that knock in this discussion with LeBron.
Well, I have a hard time in a lot of team sports, like, championships are obviously important. I mean, you play to win the game, to quote Herm Edwards, and you play to win championships. But if we're solely going to measure guys based on championships, sometimes that can be unfair because of all the other factors that an individual player cannot control. And a lot of times, too, you know, it gets centered around LeBron saying, like, oh, LeBron had to go to Miami to win a championship. But it's often not the same fair comparison given to like a Michael Jordan for a good portion of his career before the Bulls started winning titles, he wasn't able to get over that hump until Jerry Krause started acquiring pieces. Obviously, getting Scottie Pippen was a big help, but also too, trading for somebody like Bill Cartwright, who I believe at the time Jordan was really pissed about, like, because they traded Charles Oakley for him, who was Jordan's best buddy. And if it was up to Michael Jordan, he'd have kept Charles Oakley. And if you have Charles Oakley on that team instead of Bill Cartwright, you're arguing probably that the Bulls don't win those early championships because they didn't have that traditional big man when the NBA still needed that sort of traditional big man to do all the things Bill Cartwright did.
I agree. No, I totally agree. And even going along with your point, Michael Jordan is a terrible GM. And I'm not even talking about now, but even back in the days, the players that he wanted to stay, we know he's a great player, but he doesn't know everything he needs to know. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Tim, this is D right here. What sparked this article? I mean, was it just the fact of, saying the ongoing debate? Maybe you had a debate with somebody. What got you to write this article?
I had just seen a few things that LeBron had reached the same amount of regular season games as Jordan earlier this week. So some people, that sort of just kind of re-sparked. I saw some infographics and things on social media, on TV, and just like comparing Michael Jordan's statistics through, I think it's like 1,072 games. That's what Jordan played. And then LeBron just reached 1,072 games on Tuesday, I think it was. So just kind of seeing statistically where they matched up after 1,072 games. And just Jordan had him beat, obviously, in points, but LeBron has more assists and more rebounds. Jordan in his career has way more 50-point games than LeBron. I think he's got like 50-something 50-point games to LeBron's 20-something, but LeBron has way more triple-doubles than Jordan ever had. So stuff like that.
Dean Davis Show, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. On the line with right now, Tim Defoe. Follow him on Twitter at Tim Defoe. Also writing for 670score.com. Tim, the one thing that I always kind of bring up when guys are sitting around over here on the show just talking NBA, talking basketball, is the fact that these guys are basically two different players, in my opinion. And I always say, like, LeBron James is Magic Johnson's times 10, and the closest thing we ever saw to Michael Jordan was Kobe Bryant. So we're talking about these two, if you want to say, of the newer era of basketball players, although Kobe's retired, but, past the prime of Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. So does that ever come to the fact that, like, listen, it's a great debate, it's a barbershop debate or something, you go to the bar, have a few drinks, and everybody gets discussing, but we're talking about two guys that, A, play different positions on the floor and just have two completely different games?
Yeah, and you definitely got to factor that in because it's not a necessarily apples-to-apples comparison. And the conclusion I sort of reached in the piece that I wrote too was, we can argue in the barbershop or at the bar till, we're blue in the face. And like, if you're team LeBron, you're probably not going to budge. And if you're team MJ, you're probably not going to budge. But what's just amazing is I can't really think of an example in basketball or any other sport where the debate is Jordan or LeBron. And Michael Jordan retired and LeBron started his career the following year. And we've had players 1A and 1B, their careers have butted up against each other. And it's just essentially, other than those 2 years that Jordan retired in the middle, since 1984 up until today, we've been able to say that the greatest player in the league and maybe of all time has been playing for that long, whereas you can't say that in another sport. You know, if you want to argue baseball or whatever, and if you're going to make the argument between like a Babe Ruth and a Barry Bonds, okay, but there was also like 60 years in between Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds, whereas we have always had, since 1984, Michael Jordan into LeBron James, and just how lucky we are to have experienced that.
Yeah, no doubt. What kind of reception did you receive from the article? Are you getting people tweeting like, "What the hell is wrong with you? How dare you?" Or like, "Yeah, LeBron James is better."
That, but I think a lot of that is some people see a headline or whatever, and they just see LeBron, Jordan, and it's particularly in Chicago. The reflex is, "No, it's Jordan, no matter what." I'm like, okay, well, thanks for reading the article. I don't know if you did or not, but you're not bringing up any specifics, so I'm just going to assume you didn't. But yeah, I mean, there's that tribalism. Again, I get it. I even say in the piece, it goes, it pains me to say that I think when all is said and done, LeBron will probably have been better. Let's say LeBron plays for 5-7 more years, whatever he wants to play. I think overall his career will be looked on as better, but I'm a way bigger Michael Jordan fan.
No, you're not.
I am.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just. Look, I like the fact that even regardless of being a Jordan fan and growing up in Chicago, you can have an unbiased opinion, even though I disagree. And it's not even a real disagreement, because I think LeBron is close enough to where this argument is valid. Like, it's not like, this is crazy that you're even saying this. Hold on. Look, real quick. We got a guest host, Montez Allen. We usually don't let this happen. We're going to let him have a little shot at you real quick. Go ahead, Montez.
Look,
okay.
I didn't get a chance to read the article, but I see the debates all the time, all day, every day. And I'm one of those Kobe Bryant fans. I am. I think he's the closest thing to Michael Jordan that we've ever seen. He had no flaw in his game whatsoever. I don't see none. Offensively, no flaw.
You're smoking.
No, I'm not. He had no flaw. You could not stop Kobe Bryant. You just couldn't. It was like Michael Jordan. But my question is, or I'm telling you, to me, it's not even a comparison. What Michael Jordan did on and off that court, going 6 for 6 in the finals, never going to a game 7, always was the guy, didn't need to form super teams. All that stuff to me plays a factor. I feel like with LeBron, with his talent and the way he forms super teams, it's slightly easier to win, especially in a weaker conference. So when you continuously form these super teams and you add a Kyrie Irving, and you add a Kevin Love, and you add a Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen, if you gave Michael Jordan those pieces or Kobe Bryant those pieces, I feel like they would have 8-9 rings already. And that's the God's honest truth. I still think LeBron is an all-time great. I'll give him top 10, but I don't think there's no comparison with him or Michael Jordan.
I mean, I don't know that anyone was really complaining or calling out the Bulls when they acquired, Dennis Rodman and Ron Harper. I mean, Dennis Rodman's a Hall of Famer. Ron Harper, several All-Star games. He was a really, really great player. Nobody started calling the Bulls, in a negative way, a super team back then, but that's essentially what they did. Now, Jordan didn't leave the Bulls, but they went and brought all this talent into Chicago and made that a team that in Jordan's later years was then still able to overcome the Jazz. And also, too, I think with the Jordan-LeBron thing, what Jordan did was obviously amazing, and how he was able to get up for games and just find something extra to go out and beat guys. And we love stories like that in all sports, where like somebody just dug deep and found something within them to overcome something, the flu game that wasn't actually a flu game or whatever. Whereas I think where LeBron gets kind of penalized sometimes is he's such a freak of nature that he is this like gigantic cyborg at all times, whereas Michael Jordan was a little bit more like human. He didn't have the physical gifts that LeBron has, and I think we sometimes penalize LeBron a little bit because he's always just so much better than everyone around him that like there doesn't have to be this sort of narrative of him digging down deep like there was with Jordan.
I make that unique in the Kobe's or the Michael Jordans, that they might not have been the physical specimen that LeBron James is. And you're absolutely right. He's a piece of work. But to me, that's what made Jordan and Kobe so unique. They might not have been 6'8", 250 or 260, but still the way they impacted the game for 48 minutes. I've heard plenty of people say, I would take LeBron for the first 3 quarters and I would take Kobe Bryant the last quarter. And when people say that, it's like Kobe and Mike, they played all 48 minutes. Not only would you be in the game, or he's dropping 30, 40 on you already, when fourth quarter time, money time comes around, he's closing the game too. And I just think that type of skill set or mentality just puts them head over shoulders above LeBron James. I think what it comes down to is LeBron James does not have the ability to close. I think he's one of the most mentally weakest superstars we've ever seen.
Come on,
yes,
Montez.
yes,
You're just hating.
Yes. I'm
You're
not
just
hating.
hating.
I'm being real. This is my opinion.
Let
That's
him
just me.
let him respond. Please
Go ahead,
respond
go
to him.
I mean, I don't know about LeBron being one of the most mentally weak. Again, I think he gets penalized for what we call, sometimes we value guys who are not selfish, and yet when it comes to like LeBron, it's like, oh, he's mentally weak because he passes off, or he doesn't want to necessarily take the final shot. Well, and like as though like somebody like LeBron, who's 6'8" and essentially a forward, it should be taking like a last-second three-pointer. You should have probably somebody on your team that is a better percentage, long-range shooter than LeBron, and they usually are. Whereas Jordan and Kobe, they're guards, so their chances of making that clutch three-pointer as the clock winds down is a little different than LeBron, whose predominant amount of scoring is down low, and we don't usually get that kind of scoring as the buzzer's about to go off.
Dean Davis on the line. We have from 670 to score 10 by 4. Tim, first, two things. He's a hater of LeBron to levels that are just crazy, and he's a crazy AI fan. But look, let me ask you this. To get back, because it's funny that you brought up the situation about position as far as LeBron being a forward. And it's something else that I thought of in this debate between those two players as far as Kobe and Mike and LeBron. LeBron plays now in what was really a positionless NBA. So you look at how great Giannis is, and you look at all these big men who can handle the ball, and it's terrific. But I think, too, when we're having this discussion about Kobe and Mike and what they did and them being guys that focus more on scoring, due to the fact that they played in a position NBA, and as you mentioned, guards should usually take shots, then they were kind of forced in a way, not saying they didn't want to put up more shots and to stick to what that position is defined as. So them being shooting guards, of course, their job was they were going to be guys that kind of put up more points. And actually, for shooting guards, they average higher assists and rebounds than shooting guards of their era, but they necessarily wouldn't take on the point guard duties until like Pip. Did you have I know you got Magic and you got Paul Pressey, but he kind of became the forward that made this kind of thing where the forwards did more of the point guards thing. So I don't think it's fair sometimes to say when we're talking about Jordan and LeBron and talk about everything that LeBron can do, because the eras were so different as far as what they were asked to do.
True, and in the same vein of that sort of conversation with the positions or the positionless NBA or whatever, it's not Jordan's fault necessarily, but LeBron can essentially cover all 5 positions as well, whereas Jordan, A, couldn't. I mean, you weren't going to really put Jordan on your big man, and B, he wasn't ever asked to. Whereas LeBron he's a defensive chameleon in a lot of ways that I think gives him a little bit of a leg up in the discussion if we're going to compare Jordan and LeBron as well. LeBron doesn't get appreciated enough, I don't think, for his defense either. And, you talk about, he doesn't have this killer mentality or whatever. At the end of games, too, if the game is close, LeBron's value in being able to shut down the guys on other teams, no matter what position they play, who might end up being that killer, that's something that has to be considered as well.
All right, Tim, before we get up out of here, thank you for the debate, especially going back with Montez.
You're
great for that one, Tim.
Montez kind of
before we get you up out of here, thoughts on the NBA All-Star coming to Chicago in 2020?
I think it's cool. It'd be nice to have something like that. I think the NBA does their All-Star festivities probably better than any of the other major sports leagues. Mm-hmm. So, it should be interesting. And they got 3 years to plan what all the bells and whistles are going to be. So it should be cool.
I was thinking like maybe LeBron, if he's going to play a little bit longer, could it possibly be that would be his last hurrah? I mean, 3 more years. He's what, 34, 35? Not 34, 35. I mean, about 32 or 33 right now. Still got a little bit more left to take. I know you said like maybe he could probably play another 5 to 7 years, but hey, you never know what you might get. Ken?
Great, and maybe he'll get in the dunk contest and try and jump.
Finally.
Look, let me ask you this about the Bulls. All right, it looks like, and I thought it was a good pick here, Dean Davis. I think we kind of dug to a certain degree the Lauri Markkanen pick. But looking at the players that are kind of coming out, and I'm looking at somebody like Giannis, and I'm fighting between Michael Porter Jr. and Marvin Bagley, and how the game is growing. I'm leaning more towards Marvin Bagley. Have you viewed any of those players, and which one, if the Bulls could get the number one pick, would you prefer them to take?
Oh man, I haven't even looked that far ahead, to be honest with you. And I'm a guy who, I'll be totally honest with you, my college basketball viewing doesn't even like really pick up until tournament time, because I don't have like a team, and it's just not something I keep too much on my radar. Like if I know some local players or something like that, I might try to keep that. But yeah, I mean, I know the name like Marvin Bagley, and when I know names, that's really all I can really go on. But I can't say like I've scouted the guy. But so like if you're asking me right now, if the Bulls could get a Marvin Bagley, November 2017, I'm not going to tell you I dislike that. No.
Okay, no doubt. Look, we definitely appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you down the line, man. You have a great weekend.
Thanks, Tim.
You too. Thanks for having me.
All right, man.
That was him before 670 score hopping on. We're doing a little debate right there. All right, gonna come on back real quick. Dean Davis Show, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
All right, hey, peace and blessings. This is Craig Hodges on the Dean Davis Show on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Out of all the schools I applied to, Illinois Media School was the first to personally guide me through the financial aid process. Not only did the school offer classes in my field, but hands-on experience with all of today's modern broadcasting equipment. Illinois Media School gave me all the tools I needed to find a career in broadcasting. While in class, I worked one-on-one with real professionals in the television and radio industry. Job placement helped me find the perfect internship where I had real, on-the-job training. No other school offers a program as exciting and educational as this. My name is Mandy, and Illinois Media School helped me achieve my career in broadcasting.
I could have said it better myself. This is Jonathan Hood, instructor at the Illinois Media School, formerly Illinois Center for Broadcasting. There's so many reasons for you to consider Illinois Media School. You can go if you don't like the college that you go to, you don't like the major, or maybe you just want a fresh start for someplace new. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports and learn more. It's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Find out how the Chicago Bears did against the Drew Brees in New Orleans Saints on Sunday, and find out what they will do this week to get ready for the Green Bay Packers on November 12th. Now that the Cubs made some changes around their coaching staffs, what other moves will they be making during this offseason? What kind of entertainment will the Bulls give us this week? Can Lauri Markkanen break another rookie record? Find out here on World Cup of Sports on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Hold up. The Art of the Signs. CSR Boxing with the realest Justin Adams and Chris Boogie. No. 2 hours of the realest of news, analysis, reviews. Also, history lessons with hashtag OTDIV, Honest Man Boxing, and hashtag SRCT, Senior Citizen Tour.
Please, God, if you get us out of this one, I'll never grab a booty again, I swear.
Art of the Signs with the realest of Boogie. Mondays 5 to 7 on StarLineSportsRadio.com.
You dig it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, Chicago fans, the baseball season is winding down and the leaves of fall have begun to change. So you know what that means. It's all Bulls and Bears and some Blackhawks until the spring. Will Mitchell Trubisky continue to develop as a starting NFL quarterback? Do the Bulls have any more punches packed for the rest of the year? Can the Blackhawks recreate the success of seasons past? Find out every Thursday from 9 to 10 on Late Nights with Ben on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and on the TuneIn Radio app.
Ever since Coach Fox put the work in, everything seems to be coming together for our beloved Bears.
Interception! Eddie Jackson! Another defensive highlight! Touchdown Bears!
And as far as the Bulls go, the same thing can be said about them out west. What do you apologize to Nico? I feel like I let my fans, the Bulls organization,
Hey, this is a guy named Jeff, 1/3 of the Nightcap. You can check us out every Monday from 9 to 10 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Sean Lennon with the most action-packed 2 hours on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fight League Report. You ever wonder where the UFC recruits fighters? The NCAA of Mixed Martial Arts is LFA. Check out Legacy Fight Alliance on Access TV on Fridays and stay tuned to the Fight Report as we interview up-and-coming fighters for the most interviews, predictions, and news and coverage of LFA. Stay tuned to the Fight Report every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
As the Chicago Cubs look to continue to retool in the offseason, we don't be acting a fool here.
You too have pulled some pranks in your day, but this one takes the cake.
Join me, Charles Bragg, Richie, Sid Kid, Ralph Hill, and Ryan Bogavetsky every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Deck. Also, see how the Chicago Bears continue to heat up?
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Then we'll also swing into NBA and some NHL with the Chicago Bulls and Chicago Blackhawks every Saturday on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
I can't think of a better town to have an all-star game. I think Chicago is iconic when it comes to sports, certainly iconic when it comes to basketball. There's no doubt some of the best basketball that's ever taken place has happened here in Chicago.
D.N. Davis Show, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. 773-966-2494 is the number. Just got the phone with Tim Defoe up 6-7 to score.
Great coming on and get that ass beat. Shout out to my plug for setting that up.
He need to be drug tested for saying LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan.
Listen, as I said before, we were talking to Tim. They're two different players. They're two different games.
That's some my Jordan stands, man.
LeBron
is so much better than Michael.
No, I think
LeBron is 10 times better than Michael Jordan.
I think as an overall, you talking about overall play of the game.
Just period. Who are
LeBron
you taking?
LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan.
Oh my God.
No, listen. He's going to rebound for you. He's going to assist for you. He's going to defend for you. He can score. He can get to the rim.
You're right.
He can do all that stuff.
D.N. Davis, we about LeBron life. We're not about that Jordan.
Hold on.
If you got something to say, call us up.
Hold on that partner. Hold on that partner. But I will say, I think, as I said this in our text line too, I think the start a little IG live right with us too. Y'all, if y'all are on IG right now, follow at D&. Davis Show. Once again, that's at D&. Davis Show. Also on Twitter at D&. Davis Show as well. Having a good debate about Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. As I said before, LeBron James can do everything on the court 10 times. I mean, listen, he can rebound, he can assist, he can defend, he can shoot, he can get to the line, all that. He can do it. He's gonna play longer than Michael Jordan, obviously because he came straight out of high school. We get that, right? The one thing I do think,
and because he's better.
Hold on.
There's never been a person on that walk this planet
hold on in that
that could ever be as great as LeBron James.
Is that what it is?
It's just if there's any doubt that when LeBron's mother took that last hit and then he came from her, that a god was born.
That last hit or what?
Yeah, I'm like the last hit. What are you talking about?
The super rock.
That's what did it.
A lord was born to the planet.
Are you telling me Michael Jordan couldn't do the same thing?
Hold on. Michael Jordan could, but as we said before in the discussion before, on the other side of the break, I think the NBA is a positionless league now, and a lot of players are asked to do things that they probably wouldn't have been able to ask back in the day.
Because they're better today.
If LeBron James was playing in 1985, he would have strictly been a power forward on the block. You know what I'm saying? Playing like that.
Getting abused. He was getting abused.
That's not necessary. Because Magic played then.
But it was very few.
Okay,
it was
so
very
why wouldn't
few.
he be one of the few?
I just think
because you're a hater.
It's not that. It's not that.
Now you're lying.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now you have Magic Johnson. He coming out doing whatever he's doing. He's 6'9", playing a point guard.
So why couldn't LeBron do that?
I mean, I guess it would have been possible. It would have been possible. But what I'm trying to say is those cases were far and few in between. There's probably some players back in the day. Look at Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon could put the ball on the floor. He could shoot. He could do all that. But what they have him primarily playing the center position.
But also, even with that, with Hakeem, you can turn IG. With Hakeem, he still is at one point was top 10 all time in steals and outside of
he can do everything. But what was he primarily doing?
No, he did more than that though. I mean, he actually did. I don't know his assist numbers, but I'm sure he had decent assist numbers. I think, and partially I'm joking, but let's be serious. Because you said that LeBron couldn't do what he was doing back in the 80s. he would get fouled.
No,
Let me
no,
finish.
he would-
Right.
that's
He would
what
get
I was
fouled.
He'll get fouled,
He'll
boy.
get fouled.
That's true. That's
But
true.
to give his props, we have to give LeBron his proper props. He's a transcendent player.
He is.
So
Yeah.
he would still have this game. His scoring would be slightly down a little bit. I would say maybe his assists, but people would still look at him at wonderment from his ability to
I agree with that.
guard different positions
And as I
dunk on every. I mean, think about him flying through the air back then.
and as I said before, I think LeBron James is the super duper version of Magic
He
Johnson.
is.
The one thing about Michael
Magic
Jordan,
never defended nothing.
No, he didn't.
that's true. Well, that's what I said, super duper. So, but one thing about Michael Jordan, though, and I said this in the text line, his will to win is like uncanny. He was going to force you to win. If you didn't believe it, he was going to make you. There's very few players that have that. And from my understanding of doing the show for about 4 or 5 years now, all the independent stuff we've done before, we talked to a plethora of NBA people across our years doing this, right? You've never heard anybody say LeBron James' will is what drove this team over the hump.
I agree.
Not like Michael Jordan. I said it never happened, but not like Mike. It's very few players that was going to drag you like that. Like I said before, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan said Kobe Bryant was cursed with the same thing he had. So that thing right there, I think, is what kind of sets them apart. Besides the point of being two different kind of players.
I want to piggyback off of Montez's point. He was talking about during our last segment with the interview with Tim Popo. That he said that LeBron James was mentally weak. I kind of halfway agree with it, have disagree with it, only because you guys were talking about just a moment ago, LeBron would have been fouled more in the 80s because that's the way the game was played.
Yes. Yeah.
Just like Michael Jordan, LeBron's mental toughness would have been tested big time against the Detroit Pistons.
The Boston Celtics, all those guys. I think if you put LeBron James back then, people would marvel at how 6'8", he's like Magic, but can do more. So I think they would marvel at that, but they weren't intimidated. If the Dallas Mavericks can get in his head with Jason Kidd and Deshaun Stevenson and J.J. Barrett and all these guys, imagine if you got Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, Dennis Rodman, all these guys, Bill Lambert getting in his head and beating him up. I don't think LeBron James would be able to handle that.
And going into the 90s, too, with the Knicks or the Patriots.
Yes, I don't think he would be able to handle that. Look at him.
Y'all got so much hate, y'all. No, imagine LeBron playing against the Knicks.
But all right, but let's account for this. We have to also account, just like if we bring past teams to the future, then we'd be like, how they play against that? But we would also say that nutrition and stuff would apply to those teams too.
Yes.
If we're going to take him back then, we also have to say that he didn't grow up necessarily on the AAU circuit. He grew up playing a lot harder form of basketball as far as fouling. I'm not to say that it wouldn't affect him somewhat, but still he would have had to go through it from college to get into the pros. And I think LeBron, just from how he works on his game, I think he would have persisted and not just broken when those teams tried to beat him down like that.
Well, we saw it in Dallas.
And that's one thing that I said that separates him in our text. He truly is a student of the game. And there are a few players who, going even from his teenage years, knew as much about the game and its history as he did. So that's really what I think has always set him apart. The fact that he could mold his game in the way of a Magic or even of a Bird and of other players who influenced him throughout the years, and of course of Mike. And he knew from early on that it's not always about him, that sometimes he has to set up game-winning plays instead of making them on his own.
That's Dean Davis' executive producer, Cal Means also.
Yes. I mean, listen, it's a good debate. I think this debate's going to be going on for a while, but you know what's going to happen?
I don't think so.
Wait a minute.
It's kind of over.
No. I think it's going to
yeah.
It's going to change because 20, 30 years.
That's just a lot.
And he's about to be 3-6 in the finals. Let's all put that out
30
there.
years from now, it's going to be some kid.
It's
a kid in somebody's womb. It's a kid in somebody's womb right now, or hasn't been brought into this earth right now. So you're playing in the NBA. It's like, man, you know what? That kid better than LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Kid is in somebody's sock right now.
It could be that too. Who knows?
You'll never see the light.
Who knows? I don't know. But Ken really wants to get on Giannis right now.
MVP?
MVP?
Yeah, I think Giannis, and I know it's early. If he doesn't get injured, that he'll be. And I think coming to the season, there was a question: could he do it? I think he's going to be the MVP this season for the NBA, and I think it's deserving. I watch him and I marvel. He's a different type of beast.
He's 6'9" and 6'10".
He's
6'10".
No, actually, he's close. Like he's 6'11".
He's like
because watching him against the Bulls last season and seeing him play Jimmy is when I'm like, damn, because Jimmy Butler's not as short, but he's 6'8".
Yes, the Greek Freak reminds me of a more physical Kevin Durant without the shot.
But you know,
he's just more physical. He's more aggressive, physical, can't shoot, but can do almost everything else.
My comp is more of a bigger version of more physical, actually better handler. Kevin Garnett. That's the guy that he kind of reminds me. He reminds me a lot of. The difference is Kevin Garnett wasn't this offensive type of guy, especially down low. Even though Kevin Garnett played with a thin frame in a harder NBA, I think
he was a very aggressive too.
If Kevin Garnett played in this NBA,
oh my God.
Back in the day, the question was when he gonna get down in the post. He played this, but his defensive game and what he can do, I do think that's kind of my comp. Is kind of some KG.
I have people chiming in Giannis for MVP. I've seen that a couple times. So
Giannis plays a 94-foot game, more so than those players that we just mentioned, and like I said, in line with what we see today. You saw yesterday that great dunk that he had in transition with
San Antonio.
San Antonio. Yeah. I mean, how many players in the league are going to do that? How many players can, like we said during the break, cross half court and in 2 steps make a layup or a dunk? Yeah. I mean, he's amazing. It's a physical. It's just like LeBron. It's like a physical evolution of the game that we're seeing live with Giannis.
And besides him, the Greek Freak, I'm really thinking about who else can we put as second in the MVP running. It's so close. Maybe James Harden, but
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving.
Please over James Harden.
Kyrie Irving is looking like a point guard version of Kobe Bryant right now.
That's his name. Will bring Kobe.
Yeah, I had
to. Kyrie Kobe right now.
I was looking like having that success. If they continue on this path that they're going, of course they're not going to keep winning. But
I still think Cleveland's going to come out the East. Yeah. But
Boston may probably be the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they were last year. They were last year.
Right.
I mean, just imagine if Gordon would have stayed healthy, even with this. Not saying that it would have beat Cleveland or anything like that, but that team would have been a little bit better. All right, come on the other side of the break. We're gonna try to see if we can get DJ J Illa.
Yeah, he should be on his way.
All right, DJ J Illa, official sideline DJ for the Chicago
Bears.
He's
right outside the door.
Right outside the door. Right? Come on back. All right, D and Davis Show, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
What's up? It's Jonathan Hood from ESPN Radio. You're listening to the D and Davis Show, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. What's up, fellas?
The Blackhawks are off to a pretty good start this season.
Right to the goal. He's shooting.
Other teams look good as well.
Let's get started. He scores!
Great success.
And then there's other teams and players that make me want to say,
It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
Buddy, you suck at hockey.
find out all the breaking NHL news and more on the Penalty Box with the Slasher and the Iceman, Tuesdays from 2 to 4 on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
How's it going? My name is Edgar Ibar, and I'm very grateful for all the knowledge I received at the Illinois Media School. My 15-year career in radio has been a dream come true. I'm a radio DJ, I'm on the air, and I get to be a program director for 2 radio stations in Wisconsin. My dream became a reality with the Illinois Media School. Illinois Media School is a great school with great teachers and former students now working in the industry today on the radio stations you listen to and on the TV stations you watch every day. Illinois Media School, check it out. For more details, beonair.com.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This is Jonathan Hood, instructor at the Illinois Media School, formerly Illinois Center for Broadcasting. So many reasons for you to consider Illinois Media School: financial aid for those who qualify, real-world hands-on experience, internships, and so much more. Don't just take my word for it. Set up a tour at one of the 2 Chicagoland locations. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports to learn more. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
UFC is headed back to NYC for UFC 217 3-title fights. Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw, which means we are
hanging with the boys.
And it's the return of George St. Pierre versus Michael Bisping. George is
I'm not impressed by your performance.
While Michael lays out a game plan.
And he's going to be frozen like this, like a lizard. That doesn't want to move. Okay? And I will pounce. Pow.
Join us the next 2 weeks, UFC 217 preview, Thursday nights, 6 to 9 p.m., ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
What's up, everybody? This is Raphael Young, host of Raphael Young Show on Chicagoland Sports Radio. Unfortunately, I'm disappointed that the Cubs will not be repeated as World Series champions, but at least I do have the Bears, Bulls, and Blackhawks to talk about during the regular season so far. Tune in every Monday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on the Raphael Young Show on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where it is not just sports, it's a way of life.
Hi, I'm Rob Rose, and I'm one of the instructors here at Illinois Media School. I've been teaching here at the school since 2010, as a matter of fact, between Lombard and Chicago campuses. This is definitely the place to come. It's going to prepare you for absolutely everything that you need to know about the broadcast industry. We're talking radio, television, web, podcasting, absolutely everything. Get in touch with the school and take advantage of it. Make it your career. Do it now. I'm Rob Rose, nights on 100.3 WSHE in Chicago, and I am IMS.
Tune into Students of the Game with Dr. Justin Gregory and Dr. Chris Rouse. Check themselves at all times.
What you think Bobby Porter should try to be an NBA power forward or somebody's bodyguard?
Hey, man.
Look what I did to this man's face.
I'm hiring, bro. Like, I need it. I need those.
You don't need no bodyguard. Still young. I know your knees bad, but you could probably run fast if you get into it.
I mean, I can throw hands. I can.
We know Bobby can.
Students of the Game, Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Ever since Coach Fox put the work in, everything seems to be coming together for our beloved Bears.
Interception! Eddie Jackson! Another defensive highlight! Touchdown Bears!
And as far as the Bulls go, the same thing can be said about them out west.
Both of you apologize to Nico. I feel like I let my fans, the Bulls organization, everybody in my team is that.
Hey, this is a guy named Jeff, 1/3 of the Nightcap. You can check us out every Monday from 9 to 10 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Find out how the Chicago Bears did against the Drew Brees and New Orleans Saints on Sunday, and find out what they will do this week to get ready for the Green Bay Packers on November 12th. Now that the Cubs made some changes around their coaching staffs, what other moves will they be making during this offseason? What kind of entertainment will the Bulls give us this week? Can Lauri Markkanen break another rookie record? Find out here on World Cup of Sports on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 1 p.m., I am Sidney Brown with your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on careers in broadcasting, please go to pioneer.com. To the NBA, the Bulls drop one to the Indiana Pacers at home, 105-87. They take on the San Antonio Spurs from Texas tonight at 7:30 p.m. Before the game, the NBA announced that the 2020 All-Star Game will come to the United Center. This will be the first time Chicago has hosted the All-Star Game since 1988. To the NFL, the 3-5 Bears will host the Green Bay Packers on the lakefront tomorrow at noon. Danny Trevathan is listed as questionable with a calf injury. To the NHL, the Blackhawks will travel to Raleigh, North Carolina to face the Carolina Hurricanes tonight at 6 p.m. Hawks are currently 7-2 on the year. Into college football, one game to report locally is early in the second half. Illinois trails Indiana by the score of 14-7. The rest of the schedule for our local teams: Purdue will face number 25 Northwestern and Evanston tonight at 6. And number 3 Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, will travel to South Beach to face number 7 Miami Hurricanes at 7 p.m. This update is also brought to you by IIT Men's Basketball. The season opener will be November 17th when they take on Gustavus Adolphus at 3 p.m. The tickets, visit IllinoisTechAthletics.com. I'm Sidney Brown. You're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. This is not just sports, it's a way of life. Now back to the Dean Davis Show.
Demond Spuro.
These women think we're just sitting around with our legs crossed like Buddhist monks with incense, but we out here blanking these blanks.
Kenneth Davis.
So
I can believe that. Yeah. Only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Yes, I can't believe I said it. I thought somebody else was talking. You were just coming out at me, and I had no idea what I was saying. I had no idea what anything even meant. I was saying that Reeves, Coltrane. Who's Coltrane? That's what I want to know.
D and Davis Show here on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. As we teased you with right before the break. In-house right now, we have DJ J. Illa, does the sideline DJing for the Chicago Bears. Actually, he's doing a better season than last year. So we definitely appreciate you joining us. Now, how you doing this afternoon?
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Doing a better job than last year.
Yeah, yeah.
Bears?
Yeah. The Bears, I think last year you kind of saw some of the progression, especially on the defense, and it's continued this season. So it's a better, I think for you tell me, is it a better season to DJ than it was last year, or did you DJ the Bears games last season?
I did DJ the Bears games last season. And,
I think last season was probably easier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it came to DJing right now. But on the sideline. But I mean, this year is cool too.
Are you outside?
Yeah, we're outside, north end zone.
So what are you wearing when it's like tomorrow, right? How do you stay warm? Like your hands while you trying to right, that scratching to keep warm.
I mean, I'm gonna be out there hoodied up. You know
okay.
I'm out there with them. They built me a custom DJ booth. So and they laced me and my manager with all the dope Bears gear. So I got like a big coat, but of course I'm not. I won't be DJing with that on. I just throw on one of my Bears hoodies, Bears beanie, and one of the dry fit windbreakers. Layer up and get my workout on while they get theirs on.
How do you go about choosing the music for the weeks? One thing I can say about the Bears is usually when listening, seeing them stretch, something nice is playing. Like, so are there guidelines, and how do you go about picking songs?
Yeah, they're absolutely guidelines. So we have to get everything approved by the team and the actual NFL. So I submit songs, and I let them know, if what type of version it is, if it's clean or squeaky clean, an instrumental, or even at what point am I going to bring the song in. I give them a time with that, and they either approve or deny it.
Is this the first time that you've done this? Because it sounds more complicated than what I thought that you have to talk to the league about. Is this the first time you've done that? And what's the difference between clean and squeaky clean?
Yes, this is the first time that we've dealt with such a $1 billion corporation. And the difference between clean and like squeaky clean would be for example, Mask Off. There's a clean version that they play on the radio, but he'll still say Molly Percocet. But the squeaky clean version will say Rep Your Set.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be
right. We got to get that Molly and Percocet.
Yeah, that's like the old radio edits where they used to change the words.
Right.
Let me ask you this, Jay. Talk about the difference of just rocking the party. Like you said, you've been in Chicago DJing Shore Promontory, and I read the article on you down at UIC. Difference between that and then rocking a stadium.
Well, the biggest challenge is the fact that you want to please the players with what they want to hear, but also keep in mind that it's still a family environment. So even let's be honest, the NFL is filled with mostly young black men, who are fresh out of college, and from like early 20s to probably early 30s, and you already know what they want to hear. And a lot of times it's not best to play those records, even if it's a clean record. You'll never hear me play "Rake It Up" in the stadium atmosphere.
That's because it's talking about stripping.
Well, yeah, okay. the first lyric in the song is "I fell in love with a stripper first I had to tip her." Yeah. And technically that's clean, but that doesn't mean it's family. It's
not wholesome enough.
They don't want to hear that coming from Downers Grove.
Hey,
they like strippers in Downers Grove,
even though they buy the records.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, absolutely. But it's either make a judgment call or keep my job.
Yeah, you mentioned in the article too about what happened with I guess it was like kind of a DJ up there with Chicago Cubs, and they played a particular song, and that got cut real quick.
What song was it, dude?
Actually, I don't remember. What was it?
It was the Prodigy song "Smack My Beat Up."
Oh,
they played it for Rawdus Chapman.
They played it for Rawdus.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was a big story. You said that like, listen, you have to be careful because, as you said, it's a $1 billion industry.
Yeah, and it's ears and eyes everywhere.
Yep.
So you want to be mindful of.
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm thinking about that song.
That was hilarious.
I remember when it happened.
Yeah, like to get fired. It's very witty, not but I wouldn't do it. It's been plenty of songs that I'd be like, man, this is dope. I would never ever in life even try to play this in a note.
You know what? When you're out there, so I'm reading some of the articles and seeing, the vinyl and how you got into it under DJ Sean. Out there though, are you using 2 turntables or are you using a Serato?
I was still using 2 turntables along with Serato. Okay. So Serato is just the software and the turntable, and then you have the hardware that you play with the actual software. So yeah, I'm actually out there with 2 Technique turntables, and if the weather does not permit, like if it's extra windy or if the sun is like blazing or something like that, I don't know what I'm gonna use tomorrow, but the sound company that they actually have like the CDJs for me too, just in case, I got to switch out. I prefer turntables because I sound better with turntables.
Now, going back to the, we've been citing this article, RP DNA Info that wrote about you when you first initially started working with the Bears. It was a Bears official that first heard you at the promontory, right? And that's how you first got introduced to him.
Yes.
So, and they mentioned too, like you've performed for quite a few athletes and celebrities and such. Have you gotten that type of interaction a lot of times with people like famous people who just as much as just them stepping up to you like, I like what you're doing and all that?
Yeah, Jordan that showed me love a few years back. LeBron, when last time, like back when the Bulls were actually good, he was in town and he hosted a party and I was DJing and he showed me a lot of love actually. Just recently, Bruce Bowen was at Soldier Field and came over and was like, "Man, you killing," Yeah.
Do you have a Motown?
Nah, not at the not at the game.
I want to say that Jordan have on his dad shit.
he actually did with a cigar. Like this is a while ago. This is back when you could like actually smoke in the clubs too. You know what I'm saying? So it was actually Jordan and Charles Oakley in the club. Like,
of course, them two together.
Was it noticeable seeing Jordan turned up in person?
Yes.
Was it surreal?
It was like, wow, like this dude's kind of lame. And I'm a Jordan fan, but he had like this huge cigar and this flashlight. He just kept flashing it on ladies, like and I was just sitting back, like, I'm glad you can play basketball. But I've been privileged, man. Like, I think if you name it, not if you name it, but a lot of the more popular players I've been able to DJ for: Kevin Durant, Carmelo, Derrick Rose. Oh God, who else? My man Sean Livingston before the knee injury. He used to fly me out, like when he was a Clipper and he was like really about to pop off. Like he was flying me out to LA all the time.
I know you gotta be charged about the All-Star game coming here.
Yeah, no. And I say that because, I started DJing in clubs when I was 19, man. I'm in my mid-30s now. That's a young man's game. I didn't been there and done that. But yeah, because like I've transitioned my way into working with brands and getting bigger checks. So and events like that means brands want to be involved, and it's not just party. There are other events that's gonna go down. That's not like straight turn up that I want to be a part of.
Like what? So break that down then. Like what other events are taking place, and you at this age trying to break your brand to another level will be taking place that you want to be involved in instead of just parties?
Like the Jet, Kenny Smith. Like he does a party every All-Star, and 33 and a Third from Chicago does that. And you look at that, and they're gonna party, but it's older, it's more mature. It's not, I want to pop champagne and listen to Migos all night. It'll be like, I could play Migos, but I could also play, something older, or I could play some good R&B, or I could play some, some good disco or something like that. Just, an all around party instead of just turn up 4 hours straight. Just get going.
If you're DJing, like reading some of the articles and the type of fusions that you're doing, but if you're DJing for yourself, what would you be spinning?
When I'm DJing for myself, like if I'm at home just practicing.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm practicing right now, I'm just trying to take my my craft to another level. So I'm really working on a lot of the technical aspects of like beat juggling, more scratching, like doing stuff like that instead of just the fundamentals of DJing. Like I pretty got that much down pat. Like I could play pretty much any genre of music. I can blend anything, but I'm trying to enhance my my technical aspect. So it would be like the difference between a ball player who can go both left and right, but not having to kill a crossover like Iverson or something like that, or the handles of Kyrie. So I'm trying to get my technical skill level up to the handles of Kyrie.
D and Davis Show right here at ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. In studio with us right now, DJ Jay Illa. Make sure y'all follow him on Twitter at Jay Illa. Jay, as far as just the Bears, are you open to, or has any other teams approached you about coming DJing for them?
No. Well, and I wouldn't be open to it.
No? Okay.
No, because the franchise has showed me and my team so much love, and we're the first DJ ever to work with this franchise. So they have opened doors for me. Like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So, and I'm a loyal dude. I'm not looking for the next big paycheck. I'm looking to build on what me and the entertainment aspect of this team got going on, and make the in-game experience like that much doper.
Talk about your team that you're working with, your manager. Yeah, talk about your team. I mean, how did y'all get this?
Yeah, shout out to Two. He
Yeah,
got help set this up.
Yeah, nice.
Two, man, that's my brother, man. Like, Two is just a good dude. We've been working together for almost 10 years. I didn't even know he was working on this, and he was working on it for 2 years. Like, he's the type of dude, like, he doesn't tell me everything until it's about to be a go. And I didn't find out that we actually had the gig until, like, I was in Canada, you know, at Caravana, and he texted me and was like, "We got it," you know, like, first job is Family Day of last year, and he gave me the date, and I was like, wow, like, he negotiated everything, and the deal was pretty sweet.
Talk about getting back to the business, dealing with the Bears, but also an article you're talking about dealing with promoters and how they can be funny with the money, but also how some DJs undercut you and can sit there and basically DJ for $50 and you know how you gonna get paid off of that. One, have you ever had to pull a knife out of one of these DJs?
Nah. I mean, have I gotten to it with DJs before? Absolutely. But that's why I got to. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to wear my heart on my sleeve, and I used to take this business like very, very personal. And you know, one thing my brother told me before he transitioned, Timbuktu, he told me, you know, one day he said, "You're one of the best DJs I know throughout the country." And you know, if you guys are familiar with Timbuktu, you know, Tim was around, like, he was that dude here in Chicago. Me and Tim were roommates, and he told me, "You're one of the best DJs in Chicago, period, that I know, period." He said, "You have one problem: you overthink." He said, "Man, it's just music. Just play the music." And then he told me, "It's gonna come a time in your career when you just get to a level where none of this matters. Like, it doesn't matter what any other DJ does; it just doesn't matter." And I pretty much have touched that Bruce Lee final level. That Bruce Leroy final level with the golden glow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember in the beginning when he caught the arrow, like, he didn't have a glow yet, but he touched it. Like, I feel like I've touched the final level. And like, I've experienced stuff with like hip hop legends, you know what I'm saying, where it's like super questionable, and it's like, wow, like, I look up to you, and this is how you do things, like, just trying to keep the handcuffs on certain DJs and things like that. So
you need us to jump on somebody?
Say again?
You need us to jump on somebody?
Nah, man. It ain't never that serious.
Yeah, you got two.
It ain't never that serious. I got one goal. You know, people forget, like, DJing is hip hop. Hip hop is always competition based, no matter how friendly you are. Yeah. You always want to be the best. It's just like it's a sport.
You just mentioned, and of course, RIP Timbuktu and him being your roommate. I didn't know that. What about the competition between you two, and what did you learn from him, and what did he perhaps take away from your DJ?
Tim was the absolute best DJ I've ever heard, excluding nobody. And I've DJed with all of them, from Jazzy Jeff to Kid Capri to, you know, DJ Scratch. I've DJed, and Tim Buck was by far my favorite. He might have not been the most technically sound, but when it comes to knowing music and knowing how to be a puppet master in regards to working a crowd and taking them exactly where he wanted them to go, there was nobody better than Timothy Francis Jones at that. It's funny you ask, like, about the competition thing, because my homie Prolific always said that Tim and I reminded him of Ken and Ryu from Street Fighter.
Oh, okay.
He was like, "Man, y'all just go back and forth." And he was like, "But Tim is a little more, you know, up front in your face. So he would be like, Ken, you're more about your business. So you're more like Ryu." But, you know, for the record, Tim is better than me. He was better than me. Like, I have no shame in saying that. But there was things that I would do where he would look up and be like, "Yeah, that was dope." Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always knew when Tim was having a good time and he was feeling it, because I'd play a record and he'd be in the back and he'd just tap me, like, and he would come over and kind of like whisper in my ear, "Hey, can you let this record play just a little longer for me? Just for me." And I was just like, "All right, man," because I know that means he was grooving and he was, you know, enjoying what was being played. And that probably surprised him on what I just played. So
nice. You mentioned that this is hip hop, so let's get into hip hop. And first, what brought you into this? We've seen the Tribe, but what music were you listening to, and what influenced you the most as far as hip hop into DJing?
Man, it's a broad question. Can you repeat like the basics? I want to answer correctly.
What did you, when you first growing up in Chicago, what hip hop was your favorite hip hop?
Oh,
or what
okay.
artists
Tribe is my favorite group of all time. I came up listening to Tribe, De La, The Roots, Calm, if we go even further back, you know, Public Enemy, I remember like NWA being played around me. I remember like when my cousin was working on his cars, you know what I'm saying, he'd be playing LL. Mama Said Knock You Out and stuff like that. So like I was always around like the true essence of hip hop. You know, like I came up a B-boy, you know what I'm saying? Like I dabbled in every facet of the element.
How was you on the mic? How was you on the mic?
I still spit a 16 every now and then, and no, I'm not gonna do it right now, but I have, you know. Just in 2014, me and my homie Phil G put out an EP called Illinois.
That's a nice project too.
Nice. Yeah, and I was, you know, you can catch me rapping on a couple of tracks on there.
Okay. So what about
Thank you, man?
No doubt. Yeah, Phil G, nice.
It's my homie, man.
Listen to it on Bandcamp. Shout out Phil G.
Local scene right now, hip hop, man. What do you think about it right now? Where's your fingerprints right now going on locally?
Locally, I think a lot of the younger talent definitely has that fan base where they have their own movement. A lot of times I felt like I was born in the wrong era because you know when I was 16 years ago, 20 years ago, like when there was no such thing as YouTube or Instagram.
Right. Then we had the box.
Yeah, we had the box, and people was like actually searching for record deals. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to strike lightning in a bottle. Where now you could literally shoot like a video or a clip on your phone, and you can upload it to IG or YouTube, and people like it, and bada bing, like you're on and popping. Right. My homie was one of Chance's teachers back in the day. I remember they gave me his project like 10 days. And it was like, yo, listen to this, man. Like, this dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, he pretty good, for a shorty. You know what I'm saying? I listened to it. I was like, it's cool. And now Chance is like, damn near the mayor of Chicago.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, they don't make the music for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the biggest thing that we have to realize. Like, who are they making the music for?
It's like, our prime is past.
Right. Like, I don't listen to drill artists like that, but that music ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There are rappers out there that I listen to that are young, and I'd be like, man, they could really rap.
Who?
BB O'Hare.
I don't know BB.
Yeah, BB's from she's from Chicago. I'm actually her DJ.
Okay.
She's right now being featured on a rap competition called Versus, and she has made it to the finals. She is incredible.
Okay.
Like, imagine like a female version of Big Sean who can but with like super duper punchlines. Like, she's cold.
What part of Chicago is she from?
Southside. She graduated from Kenwood.
Okay, nice. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
And just getting into like you get into it some with Chance, but what do you think about Chicago's hip hop and its sort of moving it more into an industrious side with the bigger names being such big influential names now with Chance and Kanye? Because back in the day, you mentioned Lucky Khan. But it was kind of hard back in the day in the 90s if you were a Con fan, because Chicago dudes ain't really messed with him like that until.
But he always sold out every concert.
Right. But it wasn't like he didn't get the hype that
Until he went out east.
Right. He didn't get that record play right away.
I mean, he didn't. I mean, let's be honest. He didn't really get any type of hype until he came until the single, "The Light."
The Light.
You know what I'm saying? And he was already 3 albums deep.
Right.
But if you were a fan and you went to a concert, he was still selling out every concert. First time I saw Common in concert, he opened up for Biggie in '94 at the Regal Theater. Everybody knew Resurrection.
Yeah.
I remember that day. Like, he was out there doing Resurrection and people was vibing. And that was a beautiful thing. And that is the beautiful thing about hip hop, is you don't necessarily always have to be in front of the camera if you have a following. You know what I'm saying? Like Common, Tribe, Daylight, like, they 50 years old. They still selling out stadiums. Right. Tribe could still be doing that too, but they have their situation where they go on tour whenever they want to go on tour. Rakim is still touring. Like, these dudes are still touring. Like, and that's the only difference I see. I don't know if some of these younger artists will still be touring.
No, they will. I got you. And that makes me think, because I think the last time I saw you live, you were DJing that classic hip hop show.
The Classic Hip Hop Live?
Yeah, with EPMD. So that's another group that
And if you see EPMD perform,
how was that? I never seen EPMD live.
They cold, man. Like you could tell they love what they do, and you could tell how seasoned they are. You know what I'm saying? It was just them two on stage with a full band and their DJ, DJ Diamond, who's incredible. And you could just tell, like, we do this for a living. Whereas though kind of sort of you see there's no emphasis on structure when it comes to performance these days with some of the younger artists. Like there's not even any more artist development because labels and stuff like they don't do that. You think of Hitsville and Motown, like that was huge for them.
Right.
Artist development, knowing how to perform, knowing how to dance, knowing how to talk, knowing how to speak. You don't like that's why they call it mumble rap. A lot of times you don't hear what they're saying, but it's transformed from artists and to sales. People just like, oh, this is what's popping right now. We got to go this way. I was listening to Rap Caviar on Spotify on the way over here, and I don't have a problem with any of the new version of rap. Like it's a place for everything. I think my only gripe would be I couldn't tell one song from the next, so I would have to look down. Like, wait, is this the same song? Like, I'm like,
and they all put each other on these songs.
And they all put each other on the same song, so it always sounds like, all right, well, whose song or whose project is it? Like, I guess that's my only gripe. There's no major distinction between the songs. That's it.
Sticking with like the younger generation, if you had to impart any knowledge to younger DJs or something you don't think they're picking up on, what should they be picking up on more?
Know what you're doing, then become a star. And I don't want to sound like the get off my lawn.
You got curmudgeon-y right there.
It happens all of us.
But I only say that because the technology with anything is a gift and a curse. So the technology of the advancement in DJing, Serato, it's made it easier to become a DJ. But what it's also done is it's taking the work out of it and understanding how to troubleshoot and knowing how to fix things on the spot. Like when we were carrying 8 and 9 cases of records to parties, you would play a record and then you would get crazy feedback because no record was pressed the same. So then you would have to know like, oh, that's the bass. Let me turn the bass down. Or if you're getting something super scratchy, oh, the turntable's not grounded. Ooh, well, ground is gone. Let me figure out how to ground the turntable so it doesn't sound like trash. Or adjusting the weight on the tone arm. The one thing that I've noticed is the younger DJs, they just want to be stars, and that's fine. Like if that's what you want to do. Like personally, I started DJing again because I'm just a hip hop dude, and this is just where hip hop has taken me. And if you want to be a star and you want to be in the limelight, that's good. More power to you, but understand and know your craft well enough, respect it well enough that if something goes wrong, you know how to troubleshoot on site and you're not looking like this before the music goes off.
Yes.
Just like y'all on the air.
Yeah.
Just like y'all on the air. If something goes wrong in here, I'm pretty sure you know what to do so that everybody who's tuned in doesn't know that something is wrong. Right. Because you respect the craft of radio enough. So I just want the young homies to respect the craft of DJing.
Have you come across any younger cats still rocking 1200s? My old man is a DJ, and I grew up around crates of records, helping him taking crates of records to his parties when I was a shorty. Him still throwing the nickel or the dime on top of the needle, whatever like that. Do you still see shorties rocking 1200s, or was it all like CDs or all Serato?
No, I've seen a lot of the newer DJs out here embrace the turntable culture, which I love, and I credit like Scratch Academy Chicago for that because a lot of the newer DJs went to the Scratch Academy so they could learn, fundamentals and different techniques and stuff like that from like Red Bull style champions like my man Boy Genius and Big Once and a few other instructors over there. And I think it's really, really dope. The one thing I'll say that I absolutely hate, is I hate seeing DJs be so lazy that they use what they call instant doubles.
What's that now? Break it down to us.
Instant doubles on Serato is it's a tool where you automatically have 2 of the same songs on the same deck. Like remember back in the day when you had records, you would have to buy 2 copies of a 12-inch, right? So you could do tricks and stuff like
blend
that.
With them,
right? So instant doubles is a tool in Serato where you could put the MP3 on one virtual deck on the left deck, and you could put the same MP3 on the right virtual deck, so you have 2 copies. Now, what that allows DJs to do is use one turntable So they would just go to their strong hand, put the MP3 on one deck, and then use a command to make it jump to the other, where they never have to.
So they ain't going back and forth.
Hand. So they're not going back and forth. So they're using it as a crutch. It's like, and again, DJing is a sport. It's like you on the court, and all you can do is go right. Well, if I just take you off your right, then what you gonna do? You'll bump. And that's my biggest pet peeve. Like, instant doubles is a tool to use. Like, use it when you want to do tricks, or use it if one of the hardware is something is wrong with it, then use it. But don't just use it for the sake of, oh, well, I'm not good at scratching with my right hand, so I don't want to, well, get better at scratching with your right hand.
D and Davis Show, sitting in the studio right now. We have DJ Illa. You're going to check him out tomorrow at the Bears game. Really quick, if somebody wants you to come and do any type of DJ, how do they get in contact with you, or like website or anything like that?
I can be reached on the web at illanoise.net. That's ILLANOISE.net. So Illa and like bring the noise, that. Go ahead.
Good. You've said that it's a competition, and I think growing up in hip hop, even though as hip hop progressed, the DJ in some ways fell to the background when we're talking about the initial elements. But I think we've always had those DJs. You mentioned Jazzy Jeff, you mentioned Kid Capri, that they're staples. It's like, oh yeah, that's the guy. Now, when you look at like EDM and how these guys are just blowing up, what type of levels or what goals are you setting? You did the Bears. You mentioned all these places that you've been. So for someone who's already getting it, what's the next goal that you really like? I want to do that, and when I do that, it's going to be like, damn, check me out. Like, what's next?
More brands, work with more brands. If I had a blueprint of what my career trajectory would be, it would be D-Nice or Mick. Because, they're working for Google, they're working for Hennessy, they're traveling around the world, and, they're DJing. And our styles of DJing are similar, Like EDM is dope. I can't listen to it because I just think after a while it just sounds like noise. But, like, it's a market for that. Like people, like there's festivals for that.
Sell out Soldier Field.
Right. Yeah. But there's also festivals for like people that do what I do, like what they call the do-over. There's a do-over in LA. The do-over came here to Chicago, where it's just dope DJs just playing dope stuff.
As far as battling, like, give us some DJs who you've just taken, who you destroyed and been taken out, but also name somebody who's done the same thing right back to you.
Well, as far as battling, I guess that's what helped me say, you know what? I need to be better. The Red Bull 3-style competition, the first one ever in Chicago, I competed in against some really amazing DJs, and I got my ass handed to me. Okay. Like, really bad. I was like, yeah, I'm not as good as I thought I was. And my homie Big once won that. And but from that, like, I took my L. I went back to the lab and I got better. And from that, like, the people that was in that competition and the DJs that was there, like, we got super cool. So, like, and we've been on the same stage even more, like at a Timbuktu Forever, where it's 15 DJs and we all got like 10-minute or 15-minute sets. And I get on and I might not be a DMC battle DJ, but, I've gotten to the level where I'm really good, where I turn around and all the DJs that are performing are behind me like, yo, you going crazy. So it's like a battle where a DJ has absolutely destroyed. I don't want to put nobody on blast because he's a homie of mine, but he said he could do a better Jay-Z set than me. So I said, all right, let's see. We both got a half hour and like promontory in front of a crowd of people, and let's just say it was over within the first 2 or 3 minutes when I got on.
Nice. Wow. Well, speaking of promontory, man, what's your favorite spot to rock here in Chicago? Right here in Chicago, and you say you've been everywhere outside Chicago.
My favorite spot to rock here in Chicago right now will probably be the Promontory. That's like home for me. I love the staff. I love the people. Everybody's super cool. I just DJ'd at Deadbolt on Milwaukee like like super far north on Milwaukee and like Fullerton. I love that spot. That spot was really cool. It's like a hybrid between a club and a bar. So it was really dope. And other than that, my second favorite spot would be New York. Like I've been on XM radio a few times. I actually got a chance to DJ on Hot 97, which was real cool. Like live.
Oh, wow. Talk about that. How was that?
Intimidating.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
Was it intimidating because you were in New York and it's the home of hip hop, or was it just the fact of how many people that the reach of that station provides you with?
See, all of the above.
Okay.
Yeah. And I say that because like I never once ever DJ'd on radio. Like, I've never been selected to DJ here in Chicago on radio.
Wow,
ever.
Power.
No.
No.
That's kind of shame. Yeah, they need to
Yeah,
step their game.
I know, right? You know, I mean, to each his own, man. But you know, like Jay said, I'm overcharging them for what they did to the cold crack.
Right.
So or like Mos Def said, the kids they better buy my rookie card now because after this year the price ain't going down.
True.
But like being on Hot 97 was like super surreal. DJ Enough asked me if I wanted to rock live, and he was like, "You want to do an hour or 2 hours?" I just picked an hour. I had never DJed on radio. I was like super nervous. The coolest thing about that whole situation was DJ Clark Kent called me that night afterwards and like lectured me. He was like, "What happened?" I was like, he was like, "You didn't sound like yourself." He was like, he said, "If I didn't know you when I heard you, I'd be like, I mean, the kid can DJ." He was like, he can mix. He was like, "But I know you." He was like, "And you get busy." And you did not get busy. And I'm going to be honest, I was first time on radio ever, live on Hot 97. Oh, I played it extra safe. Extra safe.
But look,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
We probably should break. We got to get to the picks, right?
No, just go ahead.
But yeah, all right. But I was going to say right quick, you mentioned Timbuktu Forever.
Yeah.
The third edition of that is coming on. She's going to be there, right?
December 19th, House of Blues. Yes, I will be there, and a whole lot of dope talent I can't release yet. But you know, this is not one that you want to miss.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on this side with DJ Ella. This is the D and Davis Show.
Hey, what's up? This is Shake. You're listening to the D and Davis Show live on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
Not many people can say that they love their career, but I certainly do. I like helping the next generation of broadcasters discover their passion. How do you discover yours? Learn how to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. Get hands-on training on air and behind the scenes. You'll have a chance to get internships at radio or TV stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your career in 1 year. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So why waste another minute in a career that you don't love? Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. Go to the website right now. beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
The UFC is headed back to NYC for UFC 217 3-title fights. Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw, which means we are
hanging with the boys.
And it's the return of George St. Pierre versus Michael Bisping. George is
I'm not impressed by your performance.
while Michael lays out a game plan.
And it's gonna be frozen like this, like a lizard. That doesn't want to move. Okay, and I will pounce. Pow!
Join us the next 2 weeks, UFC 217 preview, Thursday nights, 6 to 9 p.m., ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
What's up, everybody? This is Raphael Young, host of Raphael Young Show on Chicagoland Sports Radio. Unfortunately, I'm disappointed that the Cubs will not be repeating as World Series champions, but at least I do have the Bears, Bulls, and Blackhawks to talk about during the regular season so far. Tune in every Monday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on the Raphael Young Show on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where it is not just hoods, it's a way of life.
Find out how the Chicago Bears did against the Drew Brees and New Orleans Saints on Sunday, and find out what they will do this week to get ready for the Green Bay Packers on November 12th. Now that the Cubs made some changes around their coaching staffs, what other moves will they be making during this offseason? What kind of entertainment will the Bulls give us this week? Can Lauri Markkanen break another rookie record? Find out here on World Cup of Sports on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
What's up, everybody? This is Lewis from ZRL. Listen to us every Wednesday from 4 to 7 on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. We are live giving you the hottest takes on everything sports. Listen to me, Ryan, and Zoe, as Zoe gives you the craziest tales from the Red Line, or in the news segment, weekly interviews, and so much more. We're live from 4 to 7 on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and the TuneIn app. See you there.
Hello. I want winners.
CSR Fantasy Football Live.
I want people that want to win.
The Withers Justin Adams.
Ryan B. Ski. Patrick Delaney Buckets. Joseph Gregory.
Get your popcorn ready. We're just here to answer all your questions, give you all the news that you will need to make the right moves for your team. We just here to help you win a championship, dog.
You don't play to just play it. You play to win the game.
Tune in to CSR Fantasy Football Live.
Tuesday, 6 to 7.
On ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Ooh, yeah. With seasons of baseball, Halloween, and pumpkin spice in the rearview mirror, me and Matt Ward look forward to what we're thankful for.
Like the Bulls.
Well, Lloyd Markman. What about the Bears? Well, at least we got Mitch Trubisky.
On time to Zach Miller.
The K-Trade Show every Monday night from 7 to 9 with Kevin Tregoning and Matt Ward, only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. That's 7 to 9 p.m. Monday nights.
How's it going? My name is Edgar Ibarra, and I'm very grateful for all the knowledge I received at the Illinois Media School. My 15-year career in radio has been a dream come true. I'm a radio DJ, I'm on the air, and I get to be a program director for 2 radio stations in Wisconsin. My dream became a reality with the Illinois Media School. Illinois Media School is a great school with great teachers and former students now working in the industry today on the radio stations you listen to and on the TV stations you watch every day. Illinois Media School, check it out. For more details, beonair.com.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This is Jonathan Hood, instructor at the Illinois Media School, formerly Illinois Center for Broadcasting. So many reasons for you to consider Illinois Media School: financial aid for those who qualify, real-world hands-on experience, internships, and so much more. Don't just take my word for it. Set up a tour at one of the 2 Chicagoland locations. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports to learn more. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Dan Davis Show here at ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. That was D's ass talking in the background.
Got the sexy voice on right there.
I'm just saying. Can we get this? Can we act like we do
Let's
this
go.
a little bit? We got a DJ in the house and you talking in the background.
Put this on, I got a request.
Lord have mercy. All right, y'all. I'm gonna kick it over to D so he can let you know what time it is.
Oh, right. It is time for Dean Davis NFL Picks Week 10, Dean Davis style. All right. Like I said before, this is Dean Davis Week 10 NFL Picks. We got a packed room in here.
Return of one.
Charles Ritchie. What's going on, Chuck?
I gotta commend you just for last week, the little production that was going on right there. I was laughing my off though hearing that. But you guys are great sports, so for real, thank you for the resorts.
All right, Chucky. Chucky, you got that mic right there.
All right, so
Don't touch the DJ's mic.
Don't move the table. Don't touch the mic. All right. It's all good. So, all right, Chuck, you have the standings right now. How did we do last week?
Well, last week, so far, Kyle had the winning record as of last week.
All right, cuzzo.
So, right now, he had a record of 10-2. Then, Demons and Sid Justice, I could say. No, I'm just kidding. 9-3 record. I went 8-4, and 7-5 for Mr. Kenneth Davis. And someone's moving on up the ranks, going for all them tanks. I'm talking to Mr. Sidney Broad Sid, the kid, my partner in crime, at the same time, 2 at 4 p.m. He is in second place for the overall standings, while Demons still first place, 8-5, and you know what? Top dog still.
I'll catch him.
Look at that. All right, let's go ahead and do these picks right
Jack.
quick. Let's go do these picks. Oh, thought I had them up. Hold on 1 second. This is week 10. All right. So we never do Thursday night game, and the Seahawks beat the Cardinals 22-16. All right. First up, Browns versus Lions.
Oh, come on. Let's keep going.
All right. It's like that.
All Detroit.
Oh, that's too many. That's too many.
All right. Jay
I'm
said
from Detroit.
Okay. All right. Jay said I ain't watching football. I know that already. All right. Cool. All going Lions. Next up, Steelers at Colts. Ken, who you got?
I'm going Steelers.
Steelers. All right. Sydney.
Pittsburgh.
Kyle.
Steelers.
Montez.
Steelers.
Man, Steel, curtain for certain Steelers.
I thought you was going with the Colts, Chuck. All right, Jay.
Big Ben, Steelers.
Yeah, okay, all right. Next up, Chargers at Jaguars. I'm taking the Jaguars. Jags.
Yeah,
Sac-
Jaguars.
Saxonville.
All right.
I'm actually gonna take the Chargers on this one.
Okay.
Ain't jagging around over here. Go give me the Jaguars.
Oh, that's a little bit too much. Jay, we gotta let you know. Charles can get a little loose.
It's all good.
Yeah, thanks, Louis.
That may need to get done.
Yeah. I go with the Jags on this.
All right. Next up, Saints at Bills. I'll roll with the Saints.
This is an easy one for me. Bills.
See? I gotta stick with the Saints. Saints, they've been hot.
Saints have been hot. They're looking good.
I'll give it to the Bills. Saints may struggle in the cold climate, plus they're questionable on the road. Give me the Bills.
Jay.
See, I was gonna say Saints, but he made a good point. I'm still gonna go with Saints though.
Okay, cool. All right. Jets at Buccaneers. I'm rolling with the Jets. Jets.
JTS, Jets.
Googly eyes out. Fitzpatrick in. He'll throw some interceptions. I'm going with the Jets.
Yeah, thanks for making me keep Evans too. Jets. You're welcome. Anytime you want to make a bad trade, I'm here.
Jets are surprised. They've been surprising me. I'm taking them over Bucks.
No Matt Forte. Does that matter if anybody?
You got Bilal Powell.
Bucks have been looking terrible, man. Okay. Defense, offense, all of it.
All right. Charles?
Jets.
All right, Charles.
Isn't McCown their quarterback, man?
No, what is this?
Yeah.
McCown.
Oh my God. I know, man. I can't even pick a team that has McCown as a quarterback. Did you see him in a Bears uniform?
Right? All right, man. Jets. All right. Next up, Minnesota at Washington. Sidney Brown, who you got?
Give me the Archie Bunkers.
Okay.
Slurs.
Cuzzo?
Slurs.
Cuzzo?
I'll go with the Vikings.
Minnesota's favored by 1.5. Tough one. I'm gonna stick with their defense and go with the Vikings.
Okay. Charles?
Give me the hail to the Hogs.
Okay. All right.
I'm going with the Vikings, man.
I think I'm gonna go with Washington. Okay. All right. Did you see yours?
I said I would go Slurs.
All right, cool. That's right. All right, next up, Bengals at Texans. Cuzzo, who you got?
No, you mean Titans? No, you mean
I said Titans. Bengals at Titans.
You said Texas.
Whatever.
That's not whatever. Let's get it correct.
Thank you.
Cuzzo, who you
got? Titans. Yeah.
Titans. Right.
Bengals.
Never a believer in the Bengals, man. I'm not even a believer in the Titans, but I'm taking the Titans over them. They're favored by 4.5. Vegas knows.
Charles?
Titans at Bengals, you said?
Yes. Bengals at Titans.
Bengals at Titans. Who they? Give me the Tennessee Titans. That's right. Who they Titans.
That doesn't make any sense. All right.
Who they is the Bengals? I know.
I my hate forevermore to the Bengals, the Bungles. Who they? We they Titans.
You got
it.
You take the mic from them, damn it.
Who they? We they.
Sidney Brown, who you got?
I got the Titans, even though I need Andy Dalton to do well for me in my fantasy team tomorrow.
I'm going with the Bengals. Jay?
I'm going with the Titans.
Okay. All right. Texans at Rams. I'm going with the Rams. That was my lock, too.
No, can't lock. I lock.
Everybody something to say.
Rams lock.
Okay, fine. Sydney?
This is my lock, too. Give me the Rams.
Sydney taking it.
I'm going to go with another one. But I'm still going with the Rams.
All right.
Rams are a surprise, man. No Deshaun Watson, no J.J. Watt. I'm going with the Rams. They're favored actually by 12.5.
Yeah, that's why we're picking them.
Charles?
Give me the real Mr. Hollywood, the LA Rams, and plus my lock pick for the week, Man of Steel, Pittsburgh Steelers over the Indianapolis Colts. Lock pick. Lock it up.
Cool. Jay?
Lock it
Rams.
up.
Rams? All right, I got Rams. I got Rams too. Man, what is going on over there? All right, Cowboys at Falcons. I'm taking the. You know what? Oh, Mr. Keep Your Hands to Yourself, not keeping his hands to himself. He's out for the rest for 6 games, right?
Correct.
Till Christmas Eve.
He'll forever be on my what list. I'm taking the Falcons.
You know what? I'm not even trusting the Falcons, even though I think they're going to win. I'm going to go with the Boys.
Okay.
Dallas for me.
Cause
I like Dallas.
How about those Cowboys?
Without Ezekiel, that's going to be a little bit too much for overcome. Falcons are playing desperate. Give me the Dirty Birds.
Yeah, I'm going with Falcons. Jay?
Yeah, I'm going to go Falcons because they are playing desperate. They need this one.
They need, yeah. New York.
Alrighty then.
New York Giants versus the San Francisco 49ers. I think this should be all with the Giants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone's going.
Anybody stepping out for San Fran?
They both.
Where's we gonna play that?
It's in San Fran.
Call me insanely crazy, but I will gamble with the San Francisco 49ers for the second week in a row. They still needed their first win for the year. Plus, the other man's looked bad this year. So I'll take the chance on the Niners.
Offensive line. I hope San Francisco goes 0-16. So I'm going with the Giants.
Ever see y'all going with the Okay.
I'll stick with the Giants.
They both suck. I'm gonna go with the commercials.
There you go. There you go.
So who's the commercial?
Anybody but them.
Wait, will that be California where they do all the movies and stuff?
I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. I'm sorry.
I got so confused.
How about this?
Don't go too deep down the rabbit hole.
How about this, Chuck?
All right, Chuck.
Chuck, settle down.
Don't take them too deep down the rabbit hole.
I know.
Giants, man.
There you go.
They both terrible though. It's like
It's like they're both bad.
watching two crack teams. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
6 doesn't have to.
All right,
Right.
Next up, Patriots. This is my line. Patriots at Broncos. I'm taking the Patriots.
I'm going with the Pats too.
New England.
Yeah, I'm locking Pats.
Tom Brady.
Chuck.
Yeah.
W. That means W.
Yeah, I
we
know.
got you. We got you.
I'll go with New England Patriots on this one.
Jay.
yeah, man. Patriots.
All right, Monday Night Football. Fins at Panthers.
Panthers.
Yeah, took that word in my mouth. Panthers.
Yeah.
Anybody go with the fans? Anybody?
I'm gonna go with Dolphins just because I'm not a Cam Newton fan.
I'm with you on that.
I can't stand Cam.
I'm with you on that.
You don't like Manuel
I'm picking the
Rollins.
Panthers. I'm not a huge Cam Newton fan either, but he's still heavily skilled.
Yes, he is. You still
want to lose though. For me to clarify, this is a spiteful pick. This is not a knowledgeable pick. This is a spiteful pick because I don't like Lewis, and I want him to take an L.
We need to start doing that every week. A spiteful pick.
That's a good one.
What's your spiteful pick?
You want Ndamukong Suh to step on the
I don't want no harm, but
All right, Charles.
Panthers been still flip flopping for me this year. I'll take the Dolphins in an upset. They needed a shake up though.
All right. And the last pick, last but not least, Packers at Bears.
Let me go first since he's the DJ.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
you already know
who
what I'm
right.
picking.
So just
You already
say,
know what I'm picking.
Who write the checks?
Bear down, baby.
There we go. Ken?
I guess Bears. I mean, if they're favored to win. Green Bay sucks. Brett Hundley has proven that the system is
Okay,
broken.
it's as good as time as ever to pick.
All right.
Right.
Yeah. Sit. First.
Yeah, Bears.
This hurts
Come on,
my heart.
Come on,
This hurts
Detroit
my
guy.
heart. I mean, I'll see it.
He's suffering over the Michigan State.
Nah, it's cool. I don't got no money on it. I'm good. I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Okay.
Josh?
Packers, stop drinking the Brett Kool-Aid. This is not Brett Favre. I will go with the Chicago Bears in this one. Two different animals.
Let Mitch air it out though.
Yeah, you got.
That's what we were saying earlier. I'm rolling with the Bears as well too. All right. Thanks for everything right there. Are we wrapping up? We're gonna come on. We're gonna come back for a little bit.
I mean, we're about to wrap the show up.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Well, thank you for everybody who participated in our NFL picks. That was week 10. Come on back next week so we can hit a tally and week 11 picks.
All right, so who you got coming on the show?
We're a guest free, but we're going to talk a lot of basketball, a little baseball, and so football headlines. And of course, at 3 o'clock, we're going to have our football power hour, our Bears Packers preview. Ralph Hill's fantasy focus at 3:20 in our top 5 picks for week number 10. That's coming up next on ChicagoLandSportsRadio.com.
All right, look, definitely want to thank Montez Allen for guest hosting with us.
Thanks, Montez.
Shout out to Lamont.
Oh, you're LeBron hate.
Man, how?
I got 2 words. Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. All right. So,
yeah.
Look, we want to thank Lamont Pope for helping us break down the Indy game versus Miami. Also, Timber Fold 670 to score with the LeBron MJ break debate that was great. Last but not least, make sure you check out the Bears game tomorrow. DJ Illu, thank you for coming down.
Appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for having me.
We definitely appreciate it, man. And look, we'll be back here next week. Take care of your business. Make sure you listen to D&D Davis The Flip when we put it out this week.
We gone.
Keep your hands to yourself.